Space, the final frontier. This is a review show for Star Trek The Next Generation. Its continuing mission to explore interesting plot points, to seek out goofs and continuity errors, to boldly go where no other TNG review show has gone before. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the TNG review show. Yay.
Whoop, whoop, whoopity, whoop, 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 whoop.
I'll just take Tavi off mute. Here you go, Tavi. There you go.
Oh,
There you go.
I'll behave.
Good evening, everyone. It's us. After a long 3 weeks off, we are back. We are back to talk about Star Trek The Next Generation once again. And I'm joined this evening by my fellow co-hosts, not Mazit Bob, who is unfortunately away on business, but G-Star. Good evening, G-Star. How you doing?
Best Mazamut Bob wave impression that I can do.
Very good.
Yes.
How have you been? You all right?
Yes. Yeah, I'm good. How are you? How is everyone?
I am well.
Let us know in chat.
Let us know.
You guys are in chat.
Tavykins, how are you doing?
Very good.
Tavykins is good. And Sean, how you doing?
Well,
this evening?
thanks. Good to be back. How are you getting on?
Good to be back. Yes, I know. Tavi especially has been very excited. When we go on holiday like that, when the show goes on ice for a while, we've got to put her in the Brent Spiner Appreciation Society home for
Is there like a daily email you can get? You know, just like a calendar or something.
just to keep it going.
I actually am in the Brent Spiner Appreciation group on Facebook.
Nice.
It's hilarious. And I have the alert set for his Twitter, so I get my fix.
you get your fix one way or another.
Pinterest.
It appears that you're in every single Facebook group that ever was.
If it's Star Trek, yes, I may have overindulged.
Brilliant.
That's
Good evening to everyone in chat. Good evening Yes, Sean, you're here, aren't you? And Ruth, good evening, Ruth. How are you this evening? Good evening to scrolling through Stew Plum. My ever-suffering Wrench Smiler Rainbow. How are you doing, my lovely? And I haven't seen Karen on yet. No. But yes, good evening to you lovely people in chat. We've
and you know Mickey's never early.
Mickey is never early. No. So hopefully we'll see Mickey at some point this evening. We've got a bit of a bumper show for you this evening. I think a number of us have brought things to the party this evening. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this goes. What have you got there, Tavakins?
Especially, I have a Radler drink, of course, which is my usual.
Your usual.
Mm-hmm.
I've even forgot to get myself a drink. That's how bad. See, Smiler ain't. Mazimat Bob's not here to remind me about my blood wine. I've forgotten the. I've forgotten the important blood wine.
Where's your blood wine?
Well, I do have a Smiler Rainbow who having
taken the hint.
Who having said that is
who
now
is your ever suffering wrench?
Who's now busying herself around the kitchen. Yes. Yes. So blood wine will be in my hand shortly.
You are wearing command red. So.
I am.
I was just about to say, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have the blue contingent. We just have yellow. It's just a lot of yellow. Yeah, there's a lot of security and engineering officers in the studio this evening.
Well, that's very O'Brien.
Yeah, which yes, as it's an O'Brien episode, it's kind of apt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's the most important person in Starfleet.
Oh, he is.
He's our very own little minstrel boy.
Oh, we get to sing a song later.
Yeah.
Sean, we get to sing later on, so that's fun.
I don't have the words to. Well, I do have the words to hand, but it's not one I know.
No,
Funny enough, it is another song, but it's not a common one.
No.
Is it a real song, or did they make it up just for the show?
No,
it's
a
a
real
real
song.
Song. Yeah, it's a real song.
Oh.
Goes back to the 1798 rebellion.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this evening we are here to talk about season 4 episode "The Wounded." It is episode 12 of season 4. Its production number is 40274-186. I hear Smiler Rainbow having all sorts of problems in the kitchen with my bottle of wine. I don't know what she's doing with it. She's having issues.
Tell her to use the replicator.
I think it was a cork. It was a cork bottle, so she's wrestling with a corkscrew.
She's trying to be as good as O'Brien's mom.
Yeah. Oh look, Maz McBob's in chat. Hi Maz. I hope.
She handles real meat.
Yes.
That's what Mr. O'Brien says, anyway.
He does. Yeah. Yes, she cooks for reals.
That as well.
Yeah, Mazur Bob, I hope you're having a lovely time in London. I think you're away on business in London. Have a lovely time. And we miss you, of course, in the studio.
In Nod Knoll.
Nod Knoll. Yes.
I just have to drop out and drop back in. I'll just be back in 30 seconds. Sorry about this.
Yeah, no worries, Sean. You carry on.
Sounds like he was moving house.
Oh, here we go.
There you go.
Blood wine.
There we go.
Yes. What are you drinking, G-Star?
Something in a glass.
Coca-Cola. Okay. So, yes, it's the 85th episode to be both produced and released. The teleplay was by Jerry Taylor. Her third of 17 episodes. We talked about her before. She goes on to create Voyager and is a big Star Trek alumni. One thing I didn't know about her, and I don't know if we covered this before in previous episodes where Jerry Taylor's come up, but she's the mother of Alexander Enberg, who plays a Vulcan ensign in the episode Lower Decks.
Oh, cool.
And he's also in, I think, an episode of Voyager or Deep Space Nine? Deep Space Nine, I think. At the stream.
Sorry about that. It wasn't picking up my external camera, and the internal one isn't great.
All right, there you go. You look beautiful now, Sean.
Thank you.
Lovely.
That's splotchy.
Yes.
I'm actually ordering a green screen.
I've ordered one.
You too?
Yeah. But it's not here yet.
What have we started, G-Star? What have we started?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I need a new laptop and OBS so I can play with the Zoom and other things. Put me behind virtual consoles.
That's it. No,
I
Yellow
bought
shirts.
myself some new props this week.
You
Have you?
too?
Oh, do tell.
No, it's just for more location filming.
oh, more camera
Well,
bits and pieces.
if you're in the market for a new second-hand phone, the Galaxy Flip 4 just came out, but the Galaxy Flip 2 was used as tricorders in the card. So you can get one, and I imagine there's an app, and you can get it and look exactly the same as a screen use model, because it was.
I did not know
Very
that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the alternate universe tricorders they were using, they're just Samsung Galaxy Flip 2s with with an app on them.
Ruth's got a G&T. Very nice. I do love a G&T.
And Ma says she was on G&T number 3, I think.
Well, as we speak.
Start as you mean to go on, I say.
Well, it's a good job she's not in the studio then. Because this evening could get
and then
messy.
she went on to do Loves on Tavi's uniform.
Oh, it's Mazza Bob that's got a G&T on the train. I see. Thanks, Ruth, for clearing that one up.
What's a G&T?
A gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic.
Oh, I should know that. Gin's my favorite.
Yeah, gin
My
and tonic.
a cousin of mine was working in a pub, and someone said to him, "I'll have a G&T. That's a gin and tonic." And he goes, "Would you like ice and a slice?" He said, "That's frozen water and a slice of fruit."
Yep.
I did not deliver that punchline properly, but he delivered it better. Never mind. Let's just roll that one back in. Sorry, moving on quickly.
Moving on.
I love you, Sean.
Anecdotes are not my forte.
Oh, dear. Okay.
Yeah, no, I didn't tell that one well. Sorry, we'll move on.
You've got
Actually,
chat
you did.
laughing.
I think the failure. I think the failure was more funny.
It was
to
the
be honest.
funnier the way I did it. Yeah. It's like what was that? What was that comedian or that magician? What was it? Thomas Cooper. Was it Thomas Cooper?
Tommy.
Just stop now. Just
Tommy.
stop.
Yeah.
Tommy.
I'm done. Yeah, sorry.
Tommy Cooper.
And thank you. I'll shut up now.
It's all in the timing. Yeah. Okay. Right. Where was I? I've forgotten where I was. Okay. Yeah. Joey Taylor, mother of Alexander Emberg. Yeah. Didn't know if we mentioned that before, so that was it. Story was by Stuart Charno and Sarah Charno, a husband and wife team, and Cy Chermak. Stuart and Sarah. They both work on 3 episodes of TNG. This is the first of 3 episodes. And Stuart is an actor in that husband and wife team, whose acting credits include The X-Files.
Ooh.
Yeah. Cy Chermak, this is his only episode he wrote for TNG. It's directed by Chip Chalmers. We've talked about him before. One interesting fact about Chip Chalmers is, before getting into directing, he was a professional magician in LA. Anyway, this is his 3rd of 4 episodes he directed, the last one being a couple of episodes ago, The Loss. So, who wants to see the trailer?
Bring it on.
Bring it on. Here it is. Here's the trailer for you.
Hello, sweet internet.
No, that's not a trailer. That's the slow-mo
Federation
guys.
starship
Gonna
on
be
a
one of those
merciless
nights.
attack. You have killed nearly 700 people.
a Starfleet renegade on the brink of madness.
We had to act now.
Picard must destroy his fellow officer to
I
stop
love this
a
80s
war.
music.
You must preserve the peace, no matter what the cost.
We turn these weapons on a Federation starship to protect the enemy?
Starfleet Showdown on the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I always get hyped up when I hear those horns.
Oh, we've lost Sean again.
Where's Sean?
The trailer made Sean run away. It was so action-packed and loud.
It's too much.
It scared him. It scared him away. It scared him away. From the trailer there, it does seem like a really action-packed episode, doesn't it? With the jazzy 80s music. And why does it keep putting Sean that corner? Sean goes in that corner. Yeah.
I pressed the button I shouldn't have pressed.
Don't go pushing those buttons, Sean. You don't know what will happen.
Jesus, you're wearing a yellow shirt.
Especially the red one.
Don't push it. Yeah, no. He's the sort of person that if it's got a button and it says "Don't press,"
I'm just security. They just have me standing outside an ambassador's quarters for a shift. They don't actually give me any real duties.
No.
A smile of rainbow. Nobody put Sean in the corner.
Nobody puts Sean in a corner. I know he
Nice.
keeps going in the wrong corner. We watched that over our holidays, actually. Dirty Dancing. Yeah, I haven't seen that in years. I don't think Smiler Rainbow has never seen it.
What?
I know.
What?
What?
There wasn't very
but-
much data in it, so not. too
There wasn't much data.
There's
Tragic.
There's
I bet
Sorry, G-Star, go ahead.
I was going to say, I bet it made Smiler want to get back dancing again.
Oh, baby, yes.
I was just gonna say, it filmed the movies that made us on Netflix. Do an episode talking about the making of that, and it's filmed at a resort that you can go to in America. So if you ever want to go to the Dirty Dancing resort, it exists. It's not a set.
Cool. Just answering Crazy Kraken, a bit off topic. Am I streaming Fortnite tomorrow? Yes, over on the Monteban channel, we will be streaming Fortnite tomorrow, and we've got the Monty Zone on this channel on Friday. So, those are coming up later in the week.
And Star Trek's back tomorrow. Lower Decks.
Lower Decks, episode 1, season 3 now, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, back tomorrow.
I know. Yeah, that creeped up on us fast. We're on season 3. Yeah.
Yeah, season 3 already. Okay, so there's the picture for the teaser. In the captain's log, we learn that the Enterprise is on a mapping survey near the Cardassian sector. It's been nearly a year since peace treaty ended the long conflict between the Federation and Cardassia. I just put that picture up there because I just love those opening shots of the Enterprise cruising past.
Those lines. There we go.
There you go.
Oh, we also get the Nebula, so that's also good.
Yeah, we do.
And we get the squished in ops consoles that you can normally walk towards, but they're now basically touching.
Yep. Yeah, we have the ops consoles who move around the bridge.
Tavi's appreciating data.
This
Very much so appreciating.
this picture was kind of chosen for Tavikins, and of course I love the way that Worf always stands so that he's visible. You know.
I also, I mean, that's not his main console. I forget what's to the left again. The center is ops, and the right one is communications. I forget what that one is.
Yeah, not sure.
Yeah. Oh, that. Yeah, so it's not the main one he uses. I think it's sensors. I don't know.
Yeah. Let me just.
And yet another con officer we never see again. It's like, just take this, take the best ship in the fleet. You can control it this week. We've never seen you before. We'll never see you again. But sure, take a go at it. It'll be fine.
I know it looks.
Everyone's on the fast track to promotion. You gotta give everyone a go.
Yeah, he does look like he's got one ear bigger than the other. It looks like his right ear is really big, and his left ear is. I don't know if it's just the way the picture's taken, but it does look like he has one big ear. It's probably a Final Frontier. Yeah.
You bet me to that. Yeah.
I knew it was coming, Sean, so I just figured I'll get in there first.
You're so lucky you have an audience of dorks like us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh no, my people.
Maz says the Worf shot is for her.
Oh yes, yeah. It's everyone there. There's something for Crystal. There's something for Maz. There's something for Tavikins.
No Riker though, so any Riker fans are right.
There's this
Riker
guy
fans.
here for G, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, Picard is for me.
All right, sorry, mate. Sorry, I did you dirty there. Okay, so Picard recalls that the last time he was in this sector, commanding the Stargazer, he lowered his shields as a good sign of faith. But the Cardassians took offense and attacked. The impulse engines were damaged before he could do a runner. Troy finds this story funny, as she can't believe Picard would run away. But Picard's like, believe it. Worf thinks the Cardassians have no honor and cannot be trusted. Trust is earned, not given away. Here is the newly married O'Briens in the O'Brien's quarters. Keiko's preparing a traditional breakfast for Miles. But question one, what is the breakfast? Now, there's 3 items in this breakfast, so you get 10 points for each item you can name. Tavikins, don't say anything yet, because I know you know what they are.
Okay.
So hold yourself together.
Okay.
You can, however, put it in private chat.
Yeah, if you want.
Oh,
You want to help G-Star out. Put it in the studio chat. Yeah. So, what 3 items? Now, to help you, I do have. Tavikins has been busy today, haven't you, Tavi?
I have. I've been waiting for 3 weeks.
And
So
she's made herself her own version of the meal that Keiko provided to O'Brien, and that is
live.
Tavikins' version of. There it is. She's got it in front of her. Now you're gonna have to eat this now.
Oh yes.
So you have to tell us what it's like. Smiler thinks that's awesome dedication.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need if you want to be a record breaker.
That's an old school reference.
Yeah. That's me showing
So-
my age.
So I had the top there, the
Oh, you-
garnish. And
Yeah,
it's one of my favorites anyway. It's wakame salad. It's a shredded seaweed. And
That's
G-Star was
Tavikins just
Go ahead.
eating her dinner.
I was just saying G-Star was referencing a show where people would go on and try and break Guinness Book of Records like 20 years ago.
Yeah, Roy Castle.
Yeah. And they used to have this expression that it's dedication, that's what you need
Yeah,
if you want to be a record breaker.
yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it was like who could eat the most crackers in a minute, but nobody had ever done it before, so it could be 2 and it would still be the record.
And what was the name of the guy that always came out and like made the measurements and had like the stopwatch and was always like dry?
Oh, the Italian guy who said pronto, or am I mixing up shows?
No,
No.
grey-haired guy.
Grey-haired guy, an old guy that always come out and would like officiate.
Norris something. Norris.
Yes, Norris. Norris Herter? Norris Murter? Yeah,
As soon as you said that, I was thinking of the guy from Gladiators.
what, the
I was like,
referee?
not him. Yeah.
Gladiators! Are you ready? That one.
You'll go on my first whistle.
Yeah. You will go on my fucker. He's Scottish, isn't he? So I can't really do the.
Yeah, I can't do it either.
No.
If I try, it comes out Northern Irish. Sorry. go on.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Right, that was your question. Put your answers in, and G-Star will try to keep an eye on chat and allocate you some points if you get anything
Are you
right.
kidding me? I didn't know how to do that.
Yeah, you got to do that. That's your
I should
job.
watch the show more, right?
That's Maz's job.
Is that what she does? And she does the trivia. I mean, I've got pages and pages of trivia here to go through.
You got to work hard.
I literally don't know where to start.
Sorry, Ruth Bryce in the chat. I was just gonna say Ruth Bryce in the chat used to be another Data fan, so you have company.
I know. I saw that. I got you. I even got timestamps because this episode's a bit thin on Data.
When you look at it, actually, look, the red thing there, the white thing with the seaweed on it, and that, it does actually look a hell of a lot like that, doesn't it? It's very.
The difference is hers is made in a replicator. I cooked mine.
You actually touched your meat.
I did.
Well, there is an Irish dish called Didisk, which is basically just dried seaweed, but it's decent if you can find it.
The funny thing is, in this scene, she just doesn't make it sound very attractive.
No.
But she seems to be impressed with it at the same time.
Yeah. She. So here we go. Miles is not keen because he says he's not a fish. He thanks her for sharing food that she is accustomed to and offers to return the favour. He tells her how his mother will actually cook with real meat, which surprises Keiko. She handles raw meat. O'Brien says he will be preparing something special for the meal tonight, though he'll be using the replicator. The romantic moment is interrupted by weapons impacting and red alert. Ruth is guessed beetroot and algae.
I don't know if that's meant to be funny. That's funny, algae.
Algae. Funny about that.
Are you supposed to reply oi oi oi?
Algae.
No, it's just it's algae.
Algae. It just makes you laugh.
Some people say algae, but I don't know which one's right.
Algae, yeah, or algae, or whatever.
Sorry, slightly off topic, but Hannah Hatay, who played Molly, actually featured in an episode of Kitchen Nightmares. Her dad ran a sushi restaurant, as it happened.
Oh.
Fully factoid.
He's fun. He's full of his fun facts. Talking for fun.
No, I mean Tavian.
Fully functioning factoids. Cardassian War started in 2347. At that time, Data was in his second of 3 years, with the rank of ensign. Wow. And she's still going with her seafood platter. Yeah,
What year is this? 2360 something? Is it 64 or 5?
What did they say? It was 10 years since the end of the war.
I'll have to look it up.
It's after 66 because the Cardassian War ended in 2360.
Yeah, well, basically, they have you already mentioned about the fact that this was after the Cardassian War?
Yes.
Sorry, it was 2367. I looked it up.
Right.
Yeah, they made a bit of a goof here because at the beginning of the episode they said it was a year after the Cardassian War, which would have meant that in the first 3 seasons of Next Generation
they were still at war.
They were still at war, but they didn't ever reference it or talk about it, so it's considered a bit of a goof.
Well, they could have been on a ceasefire because they did show kind of tension between them, but
No, maybe.
You would have thought there would have been some mention that the Federation was at war, and it was attacks in war as well. So it was a bit of a time goof, I think.
But at the same time, the Enterprise was basically the flagship, so they kind of kept it away from all this stuff because nobody wanted the flagship being shot down. It's never in war.
No, it kind of cruises around doing the diplomatic things, doesn't it? It's the schmoozing of other new races and things. Look how impressive we are with our big ship. That sort of stuff. Okay, so yes, they're under attack by a Cardassian ship, and it's the ship they were sent to meet. So surprise, surprise. There was some damage done before the shields got raised, but no casualties. The Enterprise returns fire, and the Cardies stand down. They hail the Cardassians to talk, and they get gold Masset. Oh, no.
In that shot,
Not that
they
one.
show there's two problems with it. One, they show that beam is red or pink, and later on it's orange. It matches the ship. And any other time we see it, they're kind of shooting from the deflector dish, and that appears to be shooting from where the bridge is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird pink. It's not usually pink, is it? As you say, it's like a kind of orange. Yeah. Smiler asks how the food is, Tavi.
It's actually really good. The yellow bits, I didn't make much of this. It was just sliced up pickled beets, which I like. So if you like pickled beets, that's what that is. And the yellow bit was kimchi with turmeric. So if you like
kimchi, that's what it was.
Yes.
Kimchi. She actually bloody says that.
No,
that's
not,
seaweed.
That's not an answer. That's not the answer.
No.
Don't say.
She does actually say kimchi, I'm pretty sure.
No.
Anyhow,
I'm gonna go
I
watch
made
the episode.
I made the last bit out of it's baguettes with cashew nuts and banana. So it's like dessert. So I'm eating it last and it tastes really good.
All right. Cool.
It's like a moist bread pudding.
Right, so here's Gul Masset. He tells them that the Federation has declared war on Cardassia because a Federation starship attacked a defenseless science station. Picard asks for 1 hour to talk to his superiors and ascertain what has happened. And Masset agrees. And that's the end of the act. Or teaser.
It's a bit obvious to those who are Star Trek geekoid, and lovers of the franchise, but it still is a bit of trivia, and I have to say it because I feel that Mads probably would. This is the only episode that features this head brace thing that you see them wearing, the Cardassians.
Yeah.
This is the only ever episode in the Star Trek franchise where the Cardassians appear with that headdress.
Yeah, it's kind of weird looking, isn't it? Looks like someone's pulled a cycling helmet over their face.
I can only assume it's because the spoon part of their head is considered a weakness, so that covers it. That's my guess. But that's the only explanation I can think for it. It doesn't really look like it does much otherwise.
I like the way you described it as a spoon part of your head. Yeah, spoon head.
Oh, well, it actually is. That's another interesting factoid, that the person who designed the Cardassians, because this was obviously the very first full episode starring the Cardassians, he took influence from an abstract painting of a woman that had really broad shoulders and what looked like a spoon on her head.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast. It's actually only about 2 weeks ago where Mike Westmore's interviewed and he talked about it. The reason
Mark
why
Westmore,
they have
that's him.
Michael.
the reason why they have that neck is because Mark Alamo has a really long neck and they designed it around him, and they just wanted to show it off. And he used the same parts for every Cardassian, like the ridges and stuff. They're all the same. It's just people's faces are different, so they make them look different. But the parts that he molded for Mark, he used for every single other Cardassian.
Wow. So going back to the first question, what was the breakfast that Tavykins is currently devouring? 3 items. What were they? And Tavona has put in chat: kelp buds, plankton loaf, and sea berries. And they are all the correct answers. So, congratulations there, Tavykins.
Well, that was a really good first question because nobody got a single answer right.
Did nobody even look it up or put anything in there? Any of those?
No.
No, we have integrity. If we don't know it, we're not going to cheat and go over to Memory Alpha.
I like it. Yeah. Stu Plum didn't answer, so I don't know if Stu Plum's still with us.
No. I think Well, Tavykins, you get the full 30 points there. So congratulations. Yeah. You started off well, but there are no multiple choice tonight. It's all like that. So you're gonna have to.
Oh no!
I thought I always do multiple choice. Today, as we come back, I'll be big and bold, and straight up questions.
I've got a new feature.
Oh, go on then.
As a guest, how presumptuous of me to bring a new feature, but here you go, just land it. Whose line is it anyway? So, gonna start off really, really easy. There will be no multiple choice, however, but it's really, really easy. Who said this line? Sweetheart, I'm not a fish. Put it in chat, please.
Sweetheart, I'm what?
Oh,
I'm not a fish. Put your answers in chat. Starting it off easy.
yeah. A mixture of how you refer to him, Miles O'Brien, the Chief. Yeah. You did start off quite easy. Stuplum got that one.
Okay.
That's.
I know this.
I'm
is a
easing people in.
being kind. Okay. I'm every time they're doing any of these communication things, I'm always trying to find where the Enterprise is on the sector map, and where they are seems like it would take more than an hour for subspace communication to get back to Admiral Holden. I don't know where he is.
They have relays.
Even with the relays, it still has to jump.
What people with
Well,
bats?
they cover it in Discovery. Basically, the relays make it instantaneous, but they make it instantaneous over, say, 3 or 5 light years. So you have to line them up. So, in Discovery, it's the case that that Indian guy is on one station and all the relays are gone. So he basically can't contact anyone for like 30 years.
Okay.
He still sat and did his job, though. Bless him.
Yeah, and they eventually commissioned him and everything, which was nice.
That was pretty badass.
After 30 or 40 years, they made him an lieutenant.
Yeah.
I got to be honest, Tavi, you're looking pretty badass. Tooth picking your teeth there.
Sorry.
That's like, yeah, gangster badass.
That Keiko
I like it.
breakfast.
Yeah, it'll do the job.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always bothered me about that instant. It's magic, isn't it? It's just you just got to accept the relays are magic, and they can do what they can do.
Well, the concept of subspace is magic for the first place, so yeah, we just
Yeah. But as you mentioned, here we are talking to Admiral Hayden via subspace. It's one of the first times that we've had an Admiral come back. It's not just Admiral for the episode. Does anybody know? This isn't a real question, but does anybody know what episode we last saw this Admiral in?
I know what the episode was about.
Was it the conspiracy or is that what it was called?
Can I describe it?
Go on then. Describe it.
It's the episode where that crazy ass Admiral chick was going after Picard because she wanted a witch hunt against a Romulan mixed guy.
The drumhead.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Wasn't that one?
That's later.
No. It was the episode where the Romulan defected.
The defector was
the defector. Yeah, he was the admiral in the defector. So there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was a totally I know this is gonna sound racist. So it was a totally different black guy admiral who was in the one with that.
Totally different black
It's
guy.
okay.
Admiral.
It's okay when you say it. It's not okay when we say it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I remember he got up when she was showing out, and he sashayed up out of there like this bitch done lost her damn mind.
So yes, Admiral Hayden, we last saw in the defector. He tells him it's the Starship Phoenix under the command of Benjamin Maxwell. He tells Picard to find him and take a delegation of Cardassians with you to observe his progress. He also tells him to preserve the peace at whatever cost.
Also, the fact the Phoenix ties in nicely to the Zephyr Cochrane ship, which I don't think was named at that point, so that just worked out nicely.
Yeah. there we go. The Phoenix. Picard informs us. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, there's Riker ejecting the warp core by sitting his ass on the
Yeah,
controls
it's as per normal. There's Riker plastering his butt all over the command controls.
Ass styling all over the engineering, or not the engineering, the environmental controls.
Yeah, just as is his way. Picard informs the senior staff of the Admiral's orders. Worf wants to put security detail on the guests, but Picard doesn't allow it. He does allow him to post guards and limit their access, though. Data tells Picard that O'Brien served with Maxwell in the past, so he might have some information. But question number 2, what ship did O'Brien serve under Maxwell's command? On what ship did O'Brien serve under Maxwell's command? That is your question.
And the multiple choice is?
There is no multiple choice. You just got to know the answer.
Sean, you moving house again?
Something like that. I was grabbing a beer.
He's got a squeaky chair.
No, I've 2 chairs for long story why, and I've taken the non-squeaky chair. So
right. So that's your non-squeaky.
This one doesn't really make any noise, so yeah, we're all right in this one. Although you might have heard me rolling over the tires.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So anyone who might have the right answer, there might be some guesses in chat already.
Or I may have put it in first and everyone copied me. Who knows?
Riker and Troy head off to the transporter room to meet their guests. Next picture. Talking of this, what do we think of the Cardassian uniforms, the first attempt at the Cardassian uniforms? Because they're very different to the uniforms we see Cardassians wearing in the future.
Well, the concept is there.
Yeah,
I mean, it's better the way it ends up, and they're too orange. They look much more alien when they go grey, and but like it's more or less what we end up with.
They look very rubbery, don't they?
The only thing
I mean, the costumes don't look great. They look cheap, even for the time.
But the other thing is in DS9 when they do flashbacks to the occupation, they're all wearing the new style, which is kind of annoying. But they just rather forget these ones existed.
Yeah. I think it would have been nice if they'd done flashbacks to have used these uniforms, really.
Yeah, it would have been, but that's not what they did. And they kept using Mark Alamo. They used him in Times Arrow as a poker player, and obviously he went on to play Gul Dukat.
Yeah.
In some beta canon, they said Gul Masat and Gul Dukat are cousins, but obviously there's nothing in canon, proper canon that establishes that.
Mark Alamo is a fantastic actor.
He is.
He's a fair bit old. He's like 80. He's older than everyone else.
Yeah, I think he was born in 1943. So yeah, he's 79. Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, we'll come back. Actually, if you've seen the documentary about Deep Space Nine on Amazon Prime,
What We're
Left Behind is interesting. Mark Alamo's bit. He really is like a bit of a beef with the writers and producers of Deep Space Nine, and he didn't ever feel appreciated by the people behind the program.
Well, I don't know about that. They brought him back again and again, kept finding excuses to bring him in for the whole show. So. Well,
that's what they said. They said, "Well, you know what we thought of you because of the screen time we give you and the parts we wrote for you. That's how we show actors how we appreciate them. We don't necessarily go to their dressing rooms and go, marvelous job, but you can tell from what we wrote for you that we loved you."
The same with when Ron was in DS9, he was only in as pit boss. He wasn't even Quark's brother, and they rewrote everything else all around him because they liked the actor. And soon enough, Lita, they gave her a bigger role. Although there's a weird thing where her and Ron get together, and 5 episodes later they get married, which is a bit weird. But but nonetheless, they gravitate towards certain people and they include them as much as they could.
Those things happen in wartime, though, because you never know what's going to happen around the corner.
I suppose, especially when you have I suppose, death and service benefits, you want to be married to somebody.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it's a good documentary, that Deep Space Nine documentary.
well worth a watch.
Well worth a watch. Yeah. Golmasset and the two officers, Glynns, Darrow, and Telly, beam on board. On leaving the transporter room, Troy glances back and glares at Miles, because as she leaves, she senses the hatred he holds towards the Cardassian visitors. It's a nice little touch, It's kind of like that wandering, it kind of builds through the episode. You learn about his past and how he feels towards the Cardassians, but it's a nice little intro into that when she kind of looks at him and like frowns. It's like, well, that feeling was not right or pleasant.
It was weird watching this episode. I found that there were little things that I'd forgotten about, and that scene at the end with Troy was one of the small things that I'd forgotten about. And when I actually saw it, I thought, God, that's a bit weird, really, isn't it? That she definitely gave him the impression that she had read his mind without his permission. Do you know what I mean? Or
well, she just felt
very
she
invasive.
felt the emotion coming from him because she's empathic, and she
it kind of gives you the suggestion that she has an upper edge on everybody, even her own crewmates.
Yeah.
But she always has. That was something that Riker actually brought up in one episode when she lost her power temporarily.
Yeah.
Saying, now that you're one of us, you've always been a step ahead of everyone. So now you're like the rest of us. You can't handle it.
Yep.
Does anybody want the next Whose Line Is It Anyway?
It's the end of Act 1, so it's time for the answers and the Whose Line Is It Anyway. So, yeah, do you want to go for the Whose Line Is It Anyway first?
Yeah, if you don't mind. So, the next one has multiple choice. The line is, I don't think they need to have the run of the ship. Did that come from A, Worf, B, Picard, C, Riker, or D, Data? I don't think they need to have the run of the ship. Did that come from A, Worf, B, Picard, C, Riker, or D, Data?
It's another weird thing. Sorry, go on, Monty.
No, go, Sean.
I was just going to say, if I recall the scene correctly, they go, here's my senior staff, and here's the chief who runs the transporter. Just in the scene. I thought it was very odd. It's like, yeah, you're meeting all the senior people, and here's this random enlisted person.
Yeah, here's the chief. There's a mixture of answers in the chat. I went with Riker, because I think Worf wants to put a security detail on him. Picard says, I don't think that's appropriate. And then Riker backs Worf up, saying, well, I don't think they should have the run of the ship. So then Picard says, well, okay, I'll let you have the security team and cordon some areas off. So I believe it's Riker. That's my explanation. But do you want to give us the answer then?
Oh, yeah, of course. It's C, Riker.
Yeah, similar to you, Monty.
Exactly.
Process of elimination. Yeah.
So I forgot to mention, I was giving everybody 100 points for each one that's right. So everybody got the first one right. O'Brien.
I didn't realise
I didn't
know there's TNG points in this.
Oh, yeah. So everybody got 100 points. Doesn't everybody feel much better about themselves now, though? Everybody has 100 points, right?
I think so, yeah. I feel good.
And then Sean and you just got 100 points. So, yeah.
Hello.
And now you can give out the answer.
Crystal Karen, you're on. So, question 2. What ship did O'Brien serve under Maxwell's command? It was, as Sean, I think, was the first, or Tavona. Was Tavona the first person? No, Sean. Sean was the first person to answer. The Rutledge. So congratulations to Sean, Tavona, Ruth, G-Star, and Stu Plum, and Mazarik Bob. You all got
also
the Rutledge.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Is that everybody?
That's everybody.
about.
Everybody got it right?
Everybody got it right.
How many points
It's
for that one, Monty? You're
Oh.
the question master.
50.
50. Okay.
Juicy.
Juicy points.
Yeah,
Right.
we've never really fully understood O'Brien's rank, but one of the theories is because he was given a battlefield commission to a tactical officer. That's why he was a lieutenant, and he was billeted for a while, and eventually they pushed him back down. So while he had the rank of lieutenant, they always just referred to him as the chief because it was always a temporary thing. That's the theory. It's the only way to try and make sense of it.
Oh, I like that theory. I like it.
That's a nice one.
Karen's claiming.
Karen
lag.
said, yeah, says, can I have 100 points for being late?
Yeah, all right. Only because it's you. You can have the
Then what-
points.
I think that's only fair. Bring her in skin in the game.
Yeah, go on. You can have all the points, Crystal
Great
Karen.
snap.
She made me a nice Victoria sandwich. So
This scene does not have data in it, so I put in a fully functional factoid to help pad this just a little bit.
okay,
It's in chat.
you're gonna stick it in chat.
It's already in chat.
Oh,
I can read it. I can read it.
I haven't seen it yet on my end.
Oh,
I will see it in a minute. I'm sure it will come. It will wing its way across the ether, and
Not coming up for me, Tabby.
What's in chat?
it's in chat. Do you guys have live chat or top?
live
Oh,
chat.
Do you, mean
maybe
the
the problem.
do you mean the factoid that you put in there earlier? The data's
Yes.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, that
I
was
didn't-
ages ago.
oh, I didn't see it. It's all the way up there. Look, there it is. Here it is. I'll highlight it on the thing that. So it is fully functional factoid. Data's hair has changed from near black to a brownish shade. Supposedly, the difference in makeup and hair color was based on the lighting needed for the episodes. Oh, I did not know
Well,
that.
I would say Data did say in previous episodes he had the ability to grow his hair like the time he grew a beard, and he also, in that future, in All Good Things, he had like a wisp of white hair, so he can change his hair at will basically if he wants to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right, onwards to Act 2 then. The Enterprise has entered Cardassian territory. Did I do the question? Yes, I did. Yes. It's entered the territory looking for the Phoenix. In the observation lounge, LaForge explains that they can scan up to 10 light years away, which translates to 1 sector per day. They are scanning sector 21505. I bet you thought that was a question, but it ain't. But found no sign of the Phoenix so far. Masset is dissatisfied with the lack of progress. Riker, echoing Masset's irritated tone, explains that Phoenix's last known position was here, so it's a good place to start. Masset doubts that the Enterprise crew is seriously interested in locating the Phoenix, but Picard, demonstrating his diplomatic expertise, takes a calm, genial tone and reassures Masset that he is hearing reports just as they come in. Nothing edited, nothing withheld. Masset, unable to respond to Picard's reasoning, concedes the point and settles down. Riker gives Picard a little look of admiration at how skillfully he handled the Cardassians' tense moment. It was good seeing Picard in full diplomat mode.
Yeah, he was pretty badass in this episode in general.
Yeah, he really had the reign of the situation, didn't he?
Oh, this is why you in charge of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
That's why they're paying the big bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I quite like the way in this scene as well, you have this whole sort of first half of the scene based on this like camera angle, and then it comes to the second half of the scene and the camera like pans out and we see that all along they've been talking about this. O'Brien's been sat there watching. It's quite sinister in a little way that you don't realise there's this other person watching just over your shoulder, but he's there.
Yeah.
Well, if you were in the enlisted man and you were invited into an officers meeting, I think you wouldn't open your mouth until someone asks you a question either.
Yeah, you feel
That's the
like
way it is.
you're the man. You felt his moment of being the man on the outside a little bit there, you know. So yes, the camera pans back. Here's O'Brien. Picard passes the meeting over to Miles, noting that Maxwell lost his entire family in a Cardassian raid on Setlik 3. O'Brien explains the circumstances. He describes a sneak attack made by Cardassian militia and that they wiped out nearly 100 civilians. Musette concludes that Maxwell is acting out of a desire for vengeance, but O'Brien counters that Maxwell would not do that. Once again, as it gets heated, Picard intervenes. Just as the discussion begins again, Worf reports from the bridge that they have located the Phoenix. The conference scatters as Picard and his bridge crew escort Musette to the bridge, leaving the Glynns and O'Brien to proceed to the turbolift by themselves. Question number 3. What was the name of the outpost where Maxwell lost his family? I said it a moment ago, so if you were listening carefully, I said it. If you know the answer, you might want to wait a moment. You might not want to rush into that chat.
God damn it.
I was trying to warn you there.
Oh right. I thought it was a trick question. I thought it was there, but like there was a name on it.
I think this one will be quite an easy one somehow. I don't know how I'm getting that impression.
Yeah. But you know, like the way they'd say Armstrong Station or something, but it would be based on a planet Archer 4, you know. Yeah, I thought it was one of those, but you double bluffed me.
Set like 3. Yeah. There we go. In the turbolift. Oh, one little thing is walking to this turbolift. It's, I think, the one and only time we see the turbolift on the... Is it the port side of the observation lounge? So.
I've never seen that one before. I thought it was a really cool angle.
Yeah. It's one of the only times we ever see it. So in the turbolift, Darrow...
Says the guy in the background was in Arsenal of Freedom.
Yes, he was. He was Riker's old commander, or a mirage, a reconstruction of Riker's captain, who they were looking for on the planet, and he comes up, doesn't he, out of nowhere from like the woods.
Yeah. Greasy air.
Yeah, and Riker's like, "You're not my captain." A bit like those children's books. Never mind. Yes, he was. Arsenal of Freedom. In the turbolift, Darrow asks O'Brien about his transporters and asks him if he wants to join them in 10 forward. O'Brien, though, says if he's ordered to help them, he will do as ordered. But who he spends time with in his free time is his business, and he leaves the turbolift. Do you think O'Brien's a little bit harsh to these Cardassians? A little bit.
He was rude as hell. It was unnecessary.
It's about, you're supposed to be Starfleet and polite to your guests, aren't you? You can't just yell at them.
Like he just got out of a war.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Well, look, the guy's got PTSD, and he just, he's doing his best to be polite. He's doing his best to be polite, but he's like, just leave me alone. I'm not your friend.
Yeah.
I'll be polite when I need to be polite, but just don't confuse my politeness for friendship.
Yeah.
Leave it at that.
On the bridge, Data reports that the Phoenix is indeed in Sector 21505. Picard orders Helm Officer Wallace, with the one big ear, to set course. And as Worf sends a subspace message to the Phoenix, instructing them to prepare for a rendezvous. Musette offers a suggestion to Picard that with precise coordinates and the ship's transponder codes, he would have one of his ships meet up with the Phoenix much quicker than Picard on the Enterprise can. Picard flatly refuses, indicating that if one of the ships retaliates, they could quickly lose control of the situation, and he prefers to make the initial contact himself.
What speed does he ask them to go? And also, Smiler asks, "Do you need any more blood wine?"
No, I'm okay, thank you. I'm sorted now. I'm sorted.
Is that a question, Tuesday?
It's not a question. It's not a question, but it could be. Warp 4?
It could
6.
be. We'll come back to that later.
Yeah.
Can I just say, as a person who is Irish, not once in my life have I ever eaten potato casserole. That's just not a thing.
No.
Also, earlier you was talking about eating oatmeal. And like the British, we don't eat oatmeal, we eat porridge.
Yeah.
It's just like we don't eat corned beef, we eat bacon. It's just like Americans wrote this and nobody ever corrected them.
Yeah, I mean, she asks
But you think
she
Colm's Irish, you would think he would say something.
He was a guest star. He probably didn't feel comfortable correcting the Irish Americans, telling them they're wrong.
Yeah, and you know, she asks what the little black things in it are, and he says capers. But I don't think capers are particularly Irish either, are they?
No, that was strange.
No. Well, I mean, we eat fish and chips here. You'd have it in tartare sauce, but I wouldn't think of anything else we'd eat them with. No, not particularly.
No.
Well, it looks
Potatoes
less
and
appealing
capers,
than
yeah.
what she was eating.
Yeah,
That's saying something.
Well, they do have a fishy flavor, so maybe he's trying to lean it towards Japanese cuisine. But yeah, we just don't eat that. Unless
Capers?
something changes next. Has anyone here had capers outside of in tartare sauce? I don't know. I don't think so.
I thought capers were just like a little seed thing.
Yeah,
I need little pickles.
Yeah, little pickles.
Yeah, they're kind of a fishy pickle, and as I said, you grind them up with mayonnaise to make tartare sauce. So that's about the only thing I know you use them for, but maybe you use them for other things. But they do have a fishy flavor.
I didn't know they had a fishy flavor.
Trying to remember if it's Greek or Italian.
I think it is. I think it is Greek, isn't it? Capers is a Mediterranean thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah. Not particularly Irish, but then again, here's the deal though. This is a few hundred years in the future, isn't it? So over time,
the Greeks invaded.
You know, if we go back a few hundred years, we wouldn't say the national English dish was chicken tikka masala.
And he did say, hold on a minute, he did say that his mum used to actually cook the food. Now, obviously, several centuries down the line, you know, the people may not be very good at cooking. Like, let's be fair, if only few do it. And that might be the result of somebody who actually tries to actually cook food.
Yeah. Yeah, as Maz pointed out, she would have thought Keiko, the actress that played Keiko, would have pointed out that they don't wear chopsticks in their hair. But I don't suppose the actors have got much sway over these things.
Again, guest actor, you don't. I believe the Star Trek writers in particular, were really, really bad about you reading the lines word for word. Like they had a guest star on once, and he added like a into a sentence, and they're like, "Oh, we need to ask for approval to add that to the line if you want to deliver it that way." He was in Lost in Space, and he was in that episode of Deep Space Nine where they had all the mines in the underground area during their in Planet Hell, and there was like a subspace beacon. Like the kid from Lost in Space played an engineer in it. Anyway, he tells a story about changing a line by adding an or an to a sentence. They're like, we have to ring the writers and ask them if it's okay. Like they were really, really anal about the lines being read exactly as they were written.
Yeah, he was from Babylon 5, wasn't he? Lanier?
Yeah, but
Lanier.
Originally, he was the kid in the black and white.
That's right.
Lost in Space.
Yeah. Danger, Will Robinson.
That's him, Will Robinson.
Yeah. Right, back on track. Here we go. We're back in the O'Brien residence. Miles treats Keiko to a potato casserole. He starts humming The Minstrel Boy, a war song from his days on the Rutledge. A song, he says, that Maxwell liked. He recounts a story told by the song, leading him to speak about his own experiences in war, and how he noticed that even in the conference room this morning, there are people on this ship who still don't like the Cardassians. He doesn't understand it. The war is over. Why is there still hatred towards them? Keiko asks how he feels about the Cardassians, and he responds that he feels fine. Does he really feel fine, though?
Well, let's just take a present-day situation, and let's say in 5 years' time, everything ended today. In 5 years' time, would people still be a little bit annoyed with the Russians? Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. G-Star.
Oh yeah, I had a bit of trivia. So we were talking earlier. I can't remember if it was off air or on air. Tavi was asking about whether it was a real song. We were saying that it is a real song. It's "The Minstrel Boy" is the name of the song. But bit of fun trivia is in 2016 it was suggested viewing for St. Patrick's Day due to the Irish content and that rendition that Miles O'Brien does of the Minstrel Boy.
Yeah, there was a big rebellion in 1798, not a successful one, but a lot of people came out with their pikes, spears basically, and a couple of 3,000, 3 or 4,000 people came together and mobilized and tried to change the political order, shall we say. It wasn't successful, but it was a fairly big one. So there's many songs about it. Minstrel Boy is one, not one I knew growing up, but I actually know it from Star Trek more than I know it from anything else.
It's probably,
I would have went with Rising of the Moon, but anyway, sorry, go on.
It's probably not a good sign that she directly asks him how he feels about the Cardassians, and he says, "I'm absolutely fine about them." So, with his PTSD in that, he's completely lying to his new wife there, which is not a good sign for their relationship, really. Right.
Well, he probably just of the opinion he doesn't really want to share his PTSD and his his own issues. He doesn't want to burden her.
Yeah.
Which in the modern era you're not supposed to do, but in the 80s you would bottle that stuff up and you wouldn't tell anyone. So that's just the way it was.
Yeah.
He might also not be aware of it. He could be in denial, thinking he's just
That's
fine.
true
and
as well.
He's professional.
That's true, and we're going to hint on that a little bit in a bit. So the Phoenix is in hot pursuit of a Cardassian supply ship, and this surprises Masset as he didn't realize that the Federation could read their transporter codes. Picard tries to hail the Phoenix, but to no avail, which annoys Masset. He points out that he has warships in the area that can intercept the ship much faster than the Enterprise. This is part of the one big bugbear with this episode. This episode could have been great if they'd shown all the action scenes. But unfortunately, some of the best moments in this episode are little dots, like moving towards each other on the view screen.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty cool that they did it that way, actually. Because
Yes,
that's like
bit
how,
battleships.
yeah, because it's like how you really experience it. You're so detached. All you can do is sit back and watch, like with bated breath.
Well, this episode was the first appearance of a new model of ship that wasn't a reuse of a TOS era ship.
Yeah.
And it's just a kit bash of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
So they got an off the shelf Enterprise model and then it just chopped it up. And
Don't say what it was again. Don't say what it was again.
the
Oh,
model,
sorry.
okay.
I'm lucky you just said that. I was just going
Don't
to say it.
say what it was. No. And so with no choice and ignoring objections from Worf, Picard orders Worf to relay the prefix code of the Phoenix to the Cardassian ships, stating he cannot allow Maxwell to destroy these ships. So that's the end of Act 2.
I'm just laughing at that shot because he has his big ear out and you can't see the other one. That's making me laugh.
It's just one. You just can't
Just a
help
big
but
one.
look at that
Yeah,
ear
yeah,
I
yeah.
found through this episode. Every time they went to the bridge, I was kind of like, ear.
Also, look where Riker is standing, where there's no consoles whatsoever, but he's just over so he can be in shot.
Yeah, with his Riker maneuver foot up on.
Oh,
Dave's.
sorry, I said Riker. I meant Worf. Like
Yeah.
there's no console there. He's not doing.
Yeah, no, he's
just
just
moving over,
stood
so
by wood.
He's just being in shot.
Yeah. Right. Wolf stood by wood.
We
Riker's-
never realised until now how much Worf is a selfie bomber.
Yeah, he just wants to get in this shot.
We'll have to watch out for this. We'll have to watch out for Worf selfie bombs.
Yeah, he does it constantly. He always has to move to be in shot between the heads. Always.
Riker
There's one
Riker
really good
feels
one where he's sitting where Data is, and it's actually Worf sitting there, and Data sitting where Troy is, and he turns his head to the side, and you see Data actually flinches just to actually be in shot outside of his huge dome. Very funny shot, I think.
Yeah. Worf's in shot. Riker's thrusting his crotch into Data.
Into Brent's back, yeah.
And I've forgotten his name
I
now.
understand his urges.
Big Ear, yeah.
Big Ears is listening. He's listening out for everything.
Although Big Ear does look a bit like Brent. If he swatched his hair back and he gave him the makeup, he'd make a great stunt double. He's very similar.
That's why they got rid of him. We don't need competition.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was Data's double. I really wouldn't.
He might.
Did you give the answer to the last question?
Not yet. No. We just got to the end of the act. Do you want to do your line is missing line thing? Whose line is it anyway?
No. I'm all right.
No? Okay.
I'll wait until you want to do the answer.
Right. Answer to the question then. Question 3. What was the name of the outpost where Maxwell lost his family? And it was Setlik 3. So.
And how many points was that?
That would be 100 points. I think we had a lot of Setlik 3s. Tavana, Mazza, Sean,
got it right.
G-Star, Stu Plum, Karen, everybody got that one. So congratulations, everyone. You've done very well. And Tavana's got another fully functional factoid. The Cardassian War lasted most of Data's career, covering all of his promotions. He progressed from ensign to lieutenant commander. Right. Sean, what are you doing?
Sorry, I was going over to the fridge. I was just going to say, in a later episode where he says he's been in Starfleet for 22 years. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure how well those numbers add up.
I don't know.
So you're laughing because I just kind of roll out of shop to go to the fridge and then kind of roll back in. I'm sitting in what is the kitchen of my flat, so the fridge is almost out of reach, but not quite.
It's kind of making more sense now.
My fridge is to my right about 3 feet away, so it's just too far to reach.
Would everybody like a score update?
Okay. Have we not got a missing line? Whose line is it anyway for this act then? Is it one for later?
Oh, yeah. If you want one.
Yeah, go on.
I think it would. No, it's not in this act.
Oh, is it? Oh, we'll have to go for the next act then. Don't worry. Go on. What's the scores then? Who's in the lead?
I just remember Miss Stuplum. So hold on 2 seconds.
Oh, Maz, come back. All is forgiven.
What, did you fire her or something? Right. So with 250 points, we have Stu Plum, Karen, Ruth, and Maz. And then in second place, we have Tavi on 280. And in first place, we have Sean on 350.
How is that possible? Was this something I missed?
Yes. Why have you all of a sudden gone so British?
It's her incredulous voice.
Yes.
Yeah. Did I miss something? I am so sorry. Okay. Yeah, I think you missed whose line is it anyway? Oh, you didn't get it right.
You didn't get it right. The first one.
You didn't get Riker. You didn't get Riker right.
You said Picard.
No, I did.
Oh,
yes,
look up here, look. Here you go.
Go and hide.
Oh, no, she said Riker. No, she said Riker on that one. Was it the first one? Was that the first one?
I got O'Brien on the first one. Everyone got O'Brien.
Yeah, no, she got both of them right. You can't add up.
Oh, okay.
You can't add up.
Yeah, and that's why you're in second place. But Sean.
Anyway, I'll leave them to work.
I'll go back and look. Keep going.
Okay. Act 3. How very dare you? Act 3. Here we go. We're back. I don't know. His ears look kind of normal size, and they kind of.
Yeah. He'd make a great trophy, mind.
Yeah. I'm one to talk. Honestly, there's a reason I wear these big headphones. Yeah. The Cardassian warship opens fire on the Phoenix, but the Phoenix outmaneuvers it and destroys the warship and the supply ship. Masset laments that the warship carried a crew of 600 and the supply ship carried a crew of 50. Picard orders engines to warp 9. Masset leaves the bridge. That's where I think
Just want to
he said.
say one thing.
Okay.
Through the last shot, Worf was over there. Now he's there. I wonder is there a continuity error because he just jumped from one place to the other to stay in shot.
Well, he's just got to be in that shot.
Just selfie bomb everywhere he goes. Sorry, please continue.
Just that I think that's where I got the whole that they were traveling towards it in warp 4, because just before this date, he asked Data how long it will take to get to the Phoenix, and he says something like 16 hours and so many minutes at warp 4, their current speed. And so Picard orders the engines to warp 9. So were you correct earlier with the warp 4, G?
No, it's a goof, but it applies. Yeah, well, I'll tell you it now. Basically, once they kill the Phoenix, kills the ship, etc. Picard then asks the helm to speed up to warp 8, right?
Mm.
But before, as part of that process, he's asking how long will it take them to get to the destination at warp 4. But back in the earlier scene, when he asked them to start setting a course for, he said warp 6.
So yes,
so
they mysteriously
there wasn't a continuity.
They mysteriously
dropped down somehow.
I'm with you.
And I do need to make an apology because yes, Tavi is in the lead on 430 points. And that's because Tavi was the only person who got question 1 right.
I believe you, G. I believe you. There's probably a lot of people in chat now going back over chat questioning these figures. But, Tavi's happy, so that's the main thing. Right.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Picard visits Miles in the transporter room to get more information about Captain Maxwell. O'Brien tells him he considers himself lucky to have worked with the 2 best captains in Starfleet. So, yeah. So he's saying all the right things to his captain there. He feels there must be a reason he's doing what he's doing. Picard asks him how he took his family's deaths. O'Brien says he took it well. He always had a smile on his face and a joke for the crew. He says those Cardies are up to something, I tell you. Picard's like, he just killed over 600 of them. And O'Brien still must think there must be for a good reason. Picard thinks Maxwell has held on to his anger for so long he can't remember feeling any other way. And he leaves O'Brien to his thoughts. But it's kind of, it's difficult to understand Miles's thought processes here. When he's told that he just killed 650 people, he's like, yeah, but there's got to be a reason for it. It's like, well, yeah. But question number 4.
If you knew someone, well, and you'd been in the trenches with them, and you told them they'd done such a thing, you'd probably believe there was a reason behind it, even if you didn't know what it was, if you trusted them.
If someone killed a person, though, you'd be like, what? Impossible,
No.
not that person. 650?
Depends on the type of people you know.
I guess. So, question number 4. It's a difficult question, this. There's two parts to it. Question number 4. Mark Alamo, who played Gul Macet, has been in TNG before. But what episode did he first make an appearance? And what was the character's name? We'll say 100 points for each section, each part. No IMDbing, Sean.
No, I did look it up. I knew it, but I did actually look it up earlier. But I can't remember the name of the character.
Yeah, Mark Alamo plays Gul Macet. Been in TNG before. But what episode did he first make his appearance? What's the character's name?
I said it earlier. I think I said it earlier what episode he appeared in. But anyway.
You said he appears in Time's Arrow Part 2.
Is that all right?
and that's not the answer because we haven't got to that episode yet.
Oh crap! He's in an earlier episode.
That's the third. Is the third appearance, but he's in an earlier episode.
Yeah. Data wins his waistcoat off him. Okay, there's an earlier episode.
But
I don't know.
I will give you a clue on this. You can't really tell it's Mark Alamo.
No, I know which one you're talking about, but I don't remember.
Are you trying to tell me? Are you trying to tell me nobody remembers the Alamo?
Yeah. And
Don't ever go to Texas. Sorry.
And just to make it even worse, it's uncredited. So,
I might have this somewhere in the back of my head.
basically, to be in this episode and to be in this series, he insisted his face covered up, and he didn't want his name associated with it. So he was too embarrassed as an actor at the time. Because they didn't know it's the first season of TNG whether it was going to be a success, and everybody thought it was going to be a massive failure, including Mark Alamo. So he didn't want to be known. But yeah,
I don't know exactly.
Can I describe the alien?
you can. Yeah. I'll give you a clue. Another clue. He wasn't one of the fish people.
Oh, okay, that was my guess. It was him and the Fleetwood Mac guy. Oh God, I don't know then.
But what other people were in that episode?
Oh, yes.
Can I pronounce?
Yeah.
I think I've spelt it wrong.
Okay. Go on then.
It's in
I
chat.
don't know. I don't know.
Nagilum.
Nagilum? No.
No, he
It wasn't
Nagilum.
Nagilum.
No, Nagilum was that ultra powerful.
Was
thing
that ultra powerful cloud thing?
that had that
Yeah,
messed
well,
up
his face was covered.
Well, that's true. Yeah, it wasn't him.
Tavi does an impression where she just turns off all the lights so you can...
Tavikins, dog alien with kung fu beard. It was.
Yeah, as soon as
It was the
I
dog
did the
alien.
episode. I said the fish people. I was in the area when you said it wasn't them. I got it.
It was the Badar Nadudud. In the episode Lonely Among Us. So nobody got the points for that one. It was a difficult question to be fair.
That's an easy one for my scoring. That's awesome.
I kind of knew it when you gave me enough hints. I kind of knew it, but yeah, I don't know.
I remembered it because I was watching someone else's review of this episode a while ago, and I just remember them mentioning what he played in, but I don't remember the episode or the name of that species. I just remember he looked like a dog with kung fu mustaches.
I have a whose line is it anyway?
Oh, and Mazima Bob said, "Oh no, those dog-looking thingies." Yes, he was a dog-looking thingy. Yes, the main dog-looking thingy. Oh, you got whose line is it anyway?
Yeah.
An
Here's
Attican.
the line.
Attican. That's it.
I just read Tammy's comment. Yeah, like the Fu Manchu he had. Yeah. Is the only way to describe that beard. Yeah.
Go on then.
The line is, there are those who crave war. There are those who crave war. Is that A, Worf, B, Gomerset, C, Captain Maxwell, or D, Riker? There are those who crave war.
Okay, so we've had O'Brien be visited by Picard. So then he heads off to 10 forward and ends up joining Darrow for a drink at the bar. Darrow orders Kanar for himself. Kanar, which we learn is,
Pronounced Kanar.
Kanar. A famous Cardassian drink, though in this episode it looks completely different to what it looks in Deep Space Nine, because I think most of the time
sometimes it's green, sometimes it's brown, sometimes it's black. It's
Here it's a purple. It's a light purple, see-through purple, transparent purple.
if I was going to guess from what they eat or something, it's going to be like fermented from fish eggs or something. It's yeah, it's not going to be palatable to human taste, I think.
Probably not. No. Yeah, so he gets a canar for himself and an ale for O'Brien. Miles apologizes for his behavior in the turbo lift, which Darrow accepts. Indicates that, this whole situation is taking a toll on both sides. O'Brien then brings up Setlik 3 massacre. He was sent there, it turns out, to reinforce the garrison. Mostly everyone was dead. Darrow tells O'Brien that they were told it was being used as a launch site for a massive strike against them. O'Brien was with a group of women and children when 2 Cardassian soldiers burst in. He stunned one of them with his phaser and jumped on the other one. During the struggle, a woman tossed him a phaser and he fired it, but the phaser was set to maximum and it disintegrated the soldier. O'Brien had never killed anything before, not even a mosquito. Finally...
And sorry, I was just going to say, again, Ireland doesn't have mosquitoes. Sorry, please continue.
They might in a couple of 100 years due to global warming.
Yeah, global warming, fair enough, yeah.
Yeah.
We have midges.
Yeah. Folkestone has mosquitoes, as I can contest to being covered in mosquito bites.
Once or twice down at Tremor, where I come from on the south coast, we had them like one summer for some weird thing, but they're not a thing here. We're too cold.
I've been bitten this year by mosquitoes more than I ever have done on any other year I can think of.
Yeah, global warming. That's okay, fair point. Yeah, global warming caused it to happen in Ireland. Yeah. I'll accept that.
And just to put a bit of a spoiler in here, because actually in a later episode with Worf, O'Brien tells him a story about how during the Cardassian War, he had to kill all these spiders. These big, huge spiders. So he definitely killed more than a mosquito.
Oh.
That could have been a later event in the same.
Could have been after the massacre. Yeah, I guess.
Well, or maybe that got him ready for killing spiders then.
Because he said he went down to Setlik and then he got stuck in a corner, and if he didn't fix the transporter, they were all going to die. And he figured out a way to fix it, despite not being an engineer. Next thing he knew, he was tactical officer in the Rutledge. So I think it was more or less the start of the war. The whole Setlik 3 thing happened.
Yeah. Okay, so he leaves. He leaves by saying to Darrow, "It's not you I hate, Cardassian. I hate what I became because of you." I thought it was quite a
strong line.
It was a strong line. It was a strong scene, I thought, from O'Brien. I quite liked in the background you had like these violin music, these strings playing, and as he was telling the story, so the strings were getting louder and louder, and I just thought it made the scene tense.
This may not be deliberate, but he was trained to be a cellist, and then rather than going to go to music academy, he enlisted in Starfleet instead, and then he got stuck into the Cardassian War shortly thereafter for a number of years. So I don't know if that's deliberate, but it works out really well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because they do show him playing in string quartets and stuff, and they work that into his character.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, really, really heavy on the strings in this scene.
I totally agree with you, Ruth. I totally agree with you. Throughout my first jaunt of watching TNG, I can always remember thinking to myself, gosh, if that's the only bar that I had to go to party, I'd be going insane.
Well, in theory, there are more than one bar. That's more the I suppose the more formal
officers' bar.
One, but yeah, well, it's not the officers because there's other people allowed in, the civilians and stuff. But there's a few others in that face backwards and a few other lounges. But yeah, it is like a hospital cafeteria, isn't it? It's very it's very sanitized.
Ironically, it's the chief's mess where it's at on board ship. That's where you want to go, the chief's mess.
Well, if you ask Tavi where it's at, she would say in Data's quarter, room 3653 is where it's at. Yeah.
I like the way you
That's where
made
it's
up a
at.
number there. That's very good.
I didn't. That's actually his room.
Is it? Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 36. I haven't seen the fully functioning factoid yet. Oh, that's actually his room. Well, there you go. So yeah, the fully functional flirtatious factoid is Data's quarters on the US Enterprise D. It's on deck 2, room 3653.
The 3,653 rooms seems about the total that should be for all the decks. I know there's 30 decks, but there could be 100 rooms a deck. I know it's a big ship, but that seems like a very high number.
I don't think it is. But they might not have started at 0. They might have started at 1,000.
Yeah, well, it's only deck 2, so are they counting from the bottom up, opposite to the decks?
I
It
guess.
seems.
I don't know.
And sometimes, like, you go to a hotel, like the second floor starts at 200, but it says on deck 2 and it starts with a 3. If we, they didn't think that one.
They didn't think that one. No. Yeah. So that was that scene. Tense music, blah blah blah. There we get Maset's other aide, Tele, is forcibly escorted to the bridge by Worf, who reports the Cardassian was found accessing computer terminal on deck 35 to study the ship's weapons systems. Tele denies any such intention for accessing the computers, claiming he was only trying to study the efficiency of the computer systems themselves. But Maset chastises him for accessing them in the first place, saying he didn't belong there. He confines Tele to his quarters for the remainder of the mission and asks to meet with Picard privately. Who actually believes, though, Tele was actually acting on his own and he wasn't actually just following orders?
It's possible. His previous dialogue showed he was just curious, so it is very possible. I believe it could be true. Although that particular shot, just to say, really shows up how bad both the orangish makeup and the uniforms they wear are. They're pretty awful. Although in saying that, the makeup didn't change; it just made it grayer. Actually, that shot looks a lot better.
Yeah, his makeup just does generally look slightly better.
Yeah,
and he spent a bit more time because he had more screen
look
time.
Look at the length of his neck.
I know he looks thoroughly alien, doesn't he?
They literally just decided he has a long neck, let's use it. That's the whole reason for that, the neck thing.
Brilliant.
Like compared to Picard, who has no neck at all in that shot.
Yeah.
I know he's got a high collar, but he's one of those people. He's like a bouncer. He's got like no neck.
In the ready room here, Maset apologizes for Tele's actions and promises he would be disciplined. Picard views the matter as closed, though, and is very pragmatic. Maset then proclaims himself as a man who does not crave war, and states that he views Picard in a similar light. They then get good news. Good news from Data. Thank you, Data. They have found the Phoenix, and they will be intercepting it in 22 minutes. That's the end of Act 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I gave out my answer. Did I give out my answer? So whose line is that anyway?
No, but we've learnt now that it was indeed Maset.
It was Maset. I think everybody got it right.
Did they?
I think some of us are answering so eagerly that everyone's like, just copy what they say.
Sean said Maset. Ruth said Maset. Tabby said Maset.
I said Maset.
Stuplam said the Maset.
Oh, yeah, I think we had.
Mazda said, I think D smile. Oh no, was that a joke?
Oh.
I don't know if Maz got an answer in, but might be because she's traveling.
Oh, well, good luck working that one out, G. I wish you well.
Thanks.
And we also had the answer to the question, question 4, which was Lonely Among Us, and Badarn. Strange name.
Who could forget Badarn?
Badarn. Yeah. Mark Alamo's first road. Yeah. So whilst G's working on that, then we've had Tavi's fully functional flirtatious factoid. We'll move swiftly on with Act 4. They establish communication with Captain Maxwell, and he agrees to come on board. A good shot of the Phoenix there, as we said in first look at a new sort of 24th century starship. Oh my gosh. Look, she's fresh from London, fresh from a train, fresh from getting out of a taxi. It's only Mazza McBob.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm a little bit sweaty and I have no uniform on. But hi!
Hello. Hello.
You've reported for duty. That's all that matters.
I'm very hot.
Who you telling?
Okay, so
That was. Don't read into it too much. It was just a joke. Move on.
I'm moving on, Sean. I'm moving straight on. So Maxwell, they talk to him. He agrees to come on board. With this picture, I just noticed a couple of things, weird things, like because it's just a quick kit bash. The running lights are all wrong, like they're all orange, where the starboard side should be like blue, so.
Yeah, I mean, it does look like somebody got a model toy and just put it together wrong, right?
Yeah, so it's kind of like just smushed.
Oddly formed.
It still has the Calypso in it as well, and it's on the shadow. It still has the 10 forward bay and the.
Well, there's a lot of first and lasts in this episode because we were talking about the headgear that the Cardassians were wearing. This is the first and last time you see the Nebula look like this.
Oh, is it?
Also, on that shot, do you see where there's just above the registry? There's like those 4 or 5 windows.
Yeah.
That's like a whole different lounge. That's not 10 forward. They never explain what it is, but yeah, it's a similar forward-facing lounge.
Oh.
Because the 10 forward is like on the rim. That's much further down. It's like deck 15 or 18.
Yes, you can see this ship doesn't have windows around its rim.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any. So.
Yeah, well, not just the Enterprise, depending on what model they use, because they hadn't figured out where 10 forward was for a while, and then they changed models and they put it in later.
Yeah. So the 6-foot model doesn't have a 10 forward window, but the 4-foot model does. And they had to make the saucer section slightly thicker to accommodate the shape windows.
Yeah.
So,
also, I'd love to know how shuttles take off a Nebula class, because when you come out, you're driving straight into a strut. So it's from that point of view, not the best design.
It's not. And I always feel that's the same with the Orville as well. If you ever look at the Orville, they come shooting out of the Orville in the shuttlecraft and like weave their way through like the, I don't know,
through the warp nacelle equivalents.
Yeah, whatever they are, the rings.
Yeah, but it's got a good cinematic value, right?
It is good. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, the last season was fantastic.
Do you know what this episode is also number 1 for?
No.
It's the first episode in 5 episodes that are the setup for Deep Space Nine.
Oh, okay, because they introduced Cardassians. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it's basically considered that it's this episode first, and then Ensign Row, and then Unification 1, and then finally the Chain of Command Part 1. And the Chain of Command Part 2.
Yeah, but in whose opinion? I mean, I would say that, the whole Wolf 359 thing was a big setup for a Deep Space Nine as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, it was
There's also bits of it.
Cisco's character.
There's bits of Ensign Rowe's dialogue where she mentions being influenced by an instructor at the Academy, and later on Chakotay mentions he was an instructor at the Academy. And it's basically all but confirmed that Chakotay was Ensign Rowe's instructor when they were doing like special tactics, and all those special tactics, just he rolled them all into the McKee, and Ensign Rowe joined them over there. But again, not 100% confirmed, but it all fits. Sorry, G, sir.
Wolf 359 wasn't an episode in Star Trek Next Generation.
No, of course it wasn't.
No.
think it was just a battle.
Best of both
Battle
worlds,
of
part
Wolf
1 and 2.
359. Yeah, best of both worlds.
Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here we are. Riker meets him at the transporter room. Maxwell congratulates him on his work with the Borg, and then spots O'Brien. He tells Miles he was the best tactical officer he ever had. And I did question about that. It's like, how is he a tactical officer? But as Sean said, he had a field commission. Miles says he learnt it all off of him. Maxwell says he's got the silver tongue by kissing the stone. But what's that a reference to? And Tavi, do you know what that's a reference to? Sean, you're not allowed to answer.
Is this a question? Yeah, okay. Sorry, is this an official question? That's
No,
what I'm asking.
no, it's not
Okay.
an official
Go on,
question.
sorry, go on. Take your guess.
I thought it was a reference to when you had to kiss the hand of the king, that you had when you were kissing a lord or someone, you had to kiss the stone, or maybe there was some sort of relic in some sort of lore from that region.
There's
that
a
if you
relic.
kissed the stone, it gave you. Yeah.
All right.
I guess.
Yeah, go on,
roughly
Mouse.
right, yeah.
Is it the Blarney Stone? No.
The Blarney
you got it.
Stone.
Hey.
It's the Blarney Stone. Do you want to tell us about the Blarney Stone, Sean?
Yeah, apparently when the locals get drunk, they like to pee on it.
Well, I'm not
Wash out with soap and water every morning, but yeah, if you go to kiss it, just be aware of that. People think it's funny that all these American tourists come along to kiss it, so they'll climb into the castle and have a go at it. So yeah, enjoy knowing that. Yeah, I don't know the whole history of it. It's something American tourists do.
That's a little bit like because of How I Met Your Mother. Like Ludacris was determined to lick the Liberty Bell when we went to Philadelphia.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know how many other people have tried to do that, but gross.
The Blarney Stone is a stone located in the ramparts of Blarney Castle, which is near Cork, and people hang upside down over the edge of the ramparts of the castle and kiss this particular stone, and it's supposed to bestow you with gift of the gab or a smooth talking tongue. Yeah, it's very popular with American tourists.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, they all do it.
Not
I don't
this
know
one.
any Irish person who's done it, but yeah, I suppose in theory we already have it. So yeah, whatever.
So, question number 5. The Phoenix is the first time we see this class of ship. But what class of ship is it? Remember, Sean, this is not fastest fingers first. You don't have to get your answer in straight away.
I'll put it in the I'll put it in the Streamlabs chat, and I'll just step away from there.
I'm just gonna.
I did. I'm sure I mentioned it already, but I won't mention it again.
That means you just gave me the answer. So, I'm guessing now.
Go for it, Maz. Yeah. Okay. There you go.
I do like my ships. Yeah, it's not the worst. You know, it's all right.
It's
like my favorite ship is the Defiant. I love the Defiant.
Teenage me, when this episode first came out, seeing another 24th century ship, the kind of modern day equivalent of the Reliant from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, I was overly excited and I wanted a picture of that on my wall. I was, super excited.
My favorite is the Defiant. It's just so nitty and gritty, and there's no messing about with it. No science, no mess.
It doesn't have any circular bits or sticky out warp nacelles. It's no good, is it? What kind of starship's that?
It's built to fight, and that's it.
No.
My favorite is Howard Sar's barge. I love the Orion barge. Not a lot of info on it. It's 110 meters long, so it's a bit shorter than the Defiant.
Talking about first time seeing a ship, this is actually the first episode you get to see the Gala class.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we didn't mention that earlier on, did we?
Yeah,
Also-
and I was interested to find out that the Gala class is actually designed or influenced or inspired by something Egyptian. I can't remember what it was. An Egyptian.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I always thought it was like
an
inspired
Egyptian
by like
Ankh.
a ray. Or
Ankh.
something.
Ankh.
Yeah,
Ship's
it's-
outline
it's-
was based on Egyptian ankh.
It's kind of like a cross, but it has like a bow at the top.
Hang
Yeah.
on. I'm going to have to look that up. Bear with me a minute.
But,
A-A-N-K-K-H.
KH.
But also the in most episodes the Cardassian warships they generally come in threes.
Oh, I see.
So
It's like a
threes.
cross and a bow.
They generally work in a pack of three. They don't work on their own. This is I think one of the rare occasions you see one on its own. I don't think you ever see them again because they're whether it's underpowered or just the way their tactics work. They don't ever fly solo normally.
Hmm. Yeah, so that's the ankh. There you go. Didn't know that. I always assumed it was like based on a ray. Always looked like from above, looked like a stingray to me. You know, with the Y bit and then the tail poking out the back. But...
It's a great design. It'd be nice to see more variation on it, but it is a great ship. I like the style of it.
And I always liked the Ferengi Marauder. I always thought we.
Oh yeah,
See more
like
about
the scarab. That's also Egyptian. It's the scarab beetle.
And it also looks like the resistance symbol in Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know, like Luke has on his helmet.
Michael Westmore, the makeup guy, he used to get all sorts of books on nature, and back before the internet, he'd have just anything or the local National Geographic or any sort of wildlife magazines, and he'd just be flipping through them all the time for ideas. So it's not surprising to see all these things kind of work their way back in.
I always thought that looked like looking down on a Ferengi Marauder.
Yeah, it's a great design, and it makes a lot of sense for Ferengi. It's got a lot of internal space for cargo because that's their primary purpose. But it also, looks fairly intimidating, and it has a clearly defined bridge section and engineering section. Yeah, brilliant.
Anyway, right, we were moving on. Riker escorts Captain Maxwell to the ready room. Maxwell says Picard must think he has gone mad, and Picard confirms that the thought had crossed his mind. Maxwell claims the Cardassians are rearming, that the science station is a military supply base, and the supply ships are running weapons. His evidence is he can smell it, which is not really great evidence. There's no sense in a science station in that sector, and it's in striking distance of 3 Federation outposts. Picard asks him why he didn't just notify Starfleet. Maxwell didn't want to wait for the bureaucrats. He says lives were at stake. And Picard asks, whose lives? Maxwell says he needed to act now. And Picard asks, why? Maxwell accuses Picard of being a bureaucrat himself. Picard asks him, why would he so quickly abandon his principles? And the answer is to avenge his wife and children, though Maxwell denies it and declares Picard a fool. When the truth is revealed, he will be vindicated, he says. Picard tells him it's all irrelevant. Picard orders him to return to his bridge, where they will return to Federation space together. He's permitting him to retain his command for the voyage instead of putting him in the brig and towing the Phoenix in disgrace. Maxwell reluctantly agrees. And that's the end of Act 4.
It's very kind of him not to disgrace him like that. At least give him the option.
Yeah, I mean, he's a decorated war hero, and he's got all of the accommodations in the Starfleet ranks. So he gave him this one last privilege. Turns out it was a bit of a mistake, possibly.
No.
Well, I mean,
can you imagine? He has an entire crew of people on that, so that disgrace wouldn't just be the captains; it would be the whole ship's crew. That would be towed.
It's so weird. I said earlier when I was watching this episode, it's been quite some years since I've actually watched this episode, and there was a lot of things that I remembered and then some that I didn't. And when you were waiting for Maxwell to appear, I was like, I don't know why, but I just have a feeling it's going to be that guy, that horrible guy from Shawshank Redemption.
It was.
And then
It was.
and then it was him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the
What's he
prison
called?
warden from Shawshank Redemption.
I've forgotten the name of the actor. Nope.
I saw it earlier. Was it Guggen or something? I was looking at it.
Gunston or something.
Yeah.
Something with a GU.
Yeah.
But
I've got it here somewhere.
between the Minstrel Boy and the other things, I thought that they were trying to play up that the character would be Irish, and that's the reason they'd have the they'd get on so well with O'Brien. But then they kind of just they leaned towards it, and then they didn't make him Irish.
Bob Gunton.
It
Bob
seemed like
Gunton.
that's the way they were going.
Yeah.
Bob Gunton, yeah. But it was so weird. I just thought, oh yeah, he's going to walk on now, and then he did. And I was like, oh, weird how the brain works.
Karen, you massage people's ears? I did not.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. I'm like, how?
I did not know that was a thing. I
Give
know
that Hellsman a go, just as right one.
I know that you do the massaging, but I didn't realize you massage people's ears. Yeah, Umox.
I love there's that great line in Deep Space Nine where Rom goes, "Yeah, I think I've been getting too much Umox," and he goes, "Who's the lucky lady?" He goes, "Oh, no lucky lady, just me." He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." And he's like, "Sorry enough to do something about it," and then he puts his ear. Love it all together.
Oh, great. Yeah. Ear pressure points. Oh. Wow. Very cool. So, right, Smiler. Well done, Smiler. Okay, so the answer to the question, speak, Mark. Do we have a whose line is it anyway, G?
Oh yeah, if you want one. Do you want one?
For that act, yeah.
All right, okay. I don't know if it was in that act, but anyway. That's what everyone thinks about the enemy. That's probably what they think about us. Was that A, Picard, B, Troy, C, O'Brien, or D, Data? That's what everybody... correction. That's what everyone thinks about the enemy. That's probably what they think of us.
Which one was O'Brien?
F.
He was the chief of operations.
I'm just going to write O'Brien.
Oh no, sorry, he wasn't chief of operations. Transporter chief. Never mind. Wrong show.
I think it's the next act. We haven't got to that bit yet.
No.
But I think it's O'Brien. I think. Okay, so going back.
Is there still another act?
There's
Yes.
one more act. Yeah, sorry, Maz.
So this is what happens when we don't catch up for a few weeks. We're all
Yeah.
just, going on our tangents.
We've been going off on different tangents and generally catching up. So at question 5, the Phoenix is the first time we see this ship. But what class of ship is it? Did we get many different answers, or did everybody follow the leader, follow the leader?
This ship is a very famous ship. Daft Punk wrote a song about it.
Yeah.
Not everyone answered.
Like the Legend of the Phoenix. No, nobody. Okay, never mind.
No one.
It was
No
funny
one.
in my head.
No one was with you on that journey, Sean.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. Everyone has not heard the song Get Lucky. Never mind.
I've heard that song. I didn't realize that was in there.
No.
It's the first line. Like the Legend of the Phoenix, everything has a beginning, I think it goes.
Oh. And it was the Nebula class. So congratulations to all those people in chat that said Nebula. Well done. And did I miss a data thing? No, I didn't. That's good. Okay.
I was about to pop one in, but you've already seen it.
I've already seen it. That's good. Okay, so we are on the final act of today. You'll be pleased to know. Before Karen drops off, and Stu Plum's like, "Oh, I gotta go to bed."
I'm still laughing about that guy's ear. Sorry.
Yeah, you just can't help but
What
notice.
is it with the ears?
I know, poor lad.
Just the angle doesn't suit him at all. It's just that big right ear just keeps coming out. Oh, the black box is back.
Yeah, the black box over the back screen. We can see it. It's a good wide shot of a shot of the season 4 bridge, so I chose this one for that purpose. The Enterprise heads for Federation
They have
space.
seats at the back.
Yeah, these
Oh, yeah,
things.
you can just pull them out.
These things
You-
here. You pull this
None of you
bit
have the
out.
playset.
You pull this bit out, and then this top bit here is extendable, so you can pull this up. It's on poles, so you can have it quite high if you want, this backrest. And then you push the backrest down, and then you push it under, and it's on a little rotating thing, so it can spin around as well.
Yeah, I had the playset as a kid. It had the exact same seats.
I have it. It's actually up there to my right.
But even in the model, they're still there, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I think
yes.
like three of them come out as one seat, and then there's 2 separate ones, if I remember.
I will do this. Hang on a minute.
Okay, you can't get in the playset.
I'll just grab one of them.
Tavi likes when he shares his toys.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This is how geeky I am.
And Tavi,
Here's
Yeah.
here's the seat from
There you
the play set.
Aw.
They join 2 of them together, so you can only pull them out in like 2s. Talking of which, actually, that's a segue to my playset models, right? Every week I said I'd show you a character. There's no points in it, but you have to guess what character it was. Oh, G-Star is dying there.
Do you want to change it so that we're bigger on the screen so that we can see it? Because
Okay.
you're so tiny that it'll be hard to see.
That's a good point. There we go. So, last time we had data from
And I got it right.
Unification.
I got it right.
I got the right episode and the wrong character.
So, can anybody guess who this Star Trek The Next Generation character is? Shall I make myself big? I don't know if you can. It's a bit difficult because I haven't got one of my...
It's Jordan the
Yeah.
Forge.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. When he did his regression thingy with that woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they put him in
Forge.
that weird suit with all the cables in.
Yeah. What episode was it?
Oh,
That would be.
I don't know, but I will give you a bit of trivia on that episode. The alien creature that was playing his mother was the same actress who played the first female. I can't remember was that the first female captain, or first black captain, or first female black captain in Star Trek. She was in one of the films, and she played a different captain than Geordi's mother later on.
Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home.
Thank you.
She
Yeah,
was a captain of the Saratoga who got disabled by the whale probe.
Yes, that's it exactly.
But yes, it is.
But
Command.
like she was both the, I think she was both the first female captain and the first captain of color, and yeah. So Janeway coming along, Cisco coming along, Burnham coming along, they've all made those claims. It's like no,
Beat them all
to
to it. Yeah. But yeah, this I don't know if you can make out the like blue veins that he's got covering his body, but in the episode they actually glow blue. He's like this like lizard creature that has blue glowing veins. There's Geordi.
you mean that little plastic toy does not have its own power source?
doesn't,
And
no.
glowy blue veins. Oh,
It doesn't
that's a
glow in the dark.
disappointment.
Doesn't have that fluorescent paint from like the
No.
early 90s and 80s that you have to have in the light, and then it glows in the dark faintly.
No, unfortunately not. I probably could have got the deluxe edition.
To be fair, you could probably paint some sort of glow in the dark over it, and
I
then
probably
you know,
could.
put it under there a light, and then it would glow up, and it would look well cool.
Did anybody get the episode? The episode was
Remember what it's called?
Identity Crisis. That's the name of the episode.
It's a good episode.
So there
I
you
like
go.
it. It's kind of like Who Done It. I like the way they put together all the clues on the holodeck.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, because it's like that shadow thing that doesn't get picked up by sensors, and it's a bit eerie and mysterious.
Mm-hmm. It's
Yeah.
real good.
Yeah,
I don't remember that episode at all, even when you guys are describing it.
we'll get there,
Actually,
Tavykins.
when we
We'll
get
get there.
They
Eventually,
do a
one
very,
day.
very similar thing in Voyager with Tuvok as
They
well,
do. Yeah.
where it's in Isn't it like an auditorium that time?
In flashback.
Okay, so the Enterprise is heading to Federation space with the Phoenix following. All is going well. But then Data reports the Phoenix is changing course. They try to hail him, but to no effect. Data ascertains he's heading for another supply ship. The Phoenix goes to Warp 9, and Picard orders the Enterprise to do the same, but it's too late. They will not catch him now before he reaches the supply ship. Picard orders O'Brien to the bridge. He gets away from him bloody quick, because 1 minute they're right next to each other. Oh, wrong.
I think that was really faithful, at least this time, because like when you're going to warp 9, the amount of distance that you cover is immense.
I guess so.
And they're always showing people coming in and out of warp and they're right next to each other. I was like, no, if you're a microsecond off, you're way ahead.
Yeah, warp 4 to warp 9 isn't a little over double. It's like, 50 times faster. It's big difference.
Yeah, and they always come out of warp next to a planet, don't they? And you think if you were just like, a fraction of a second later, you'd be like, yeah.
Well, there's rules where you're not supposed to warp inside a solar system, which they sometimes remember to follow, and then most of the time they don't.
They don't. No, they just leave a planet and warp.
But occasionally they go warp inside a solar system, but then other times they'll just bang, stop right into orbit, and then it's no problem.
Yeah. Smiler wants me to show the seat. Show the seat again. There you go. That's the seat.
No, Smiler, show the data again.
That's the seat. Look.
Okay.
Yeah.
What seat?
The seat from the bridge of the Enterprise. That was it.
Oh, right.
Why do you want to see the seat again, Smiler?
I think she's meant to say
Look.
data.
There you go. Oh, you can see the little bits on it. Look.
Yeah, I think it was just because you got the picture big, so
Oh,
you
right.
can see it better now.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Well, in theory, there should be 5, and they can all pull out one by one. But in the model, it just comes out as 2
It's
parts.
2 parts, 1 3 set and 1 2 set. Yeah.
Yeah. My father, he was moving a house and he left it in someone's house, and then he couldn't remember where it was, and I never got it back. So I lost all my childhood stuff. So I don't have it anymore.
Oh. No, mine is still.
That was 20 years ago. Still haven't forgiven him. But anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Shouldn't.
I know. It's.
Well, that's what he claims. Maybe he dumped it all. I don't know. But anyway, it was 20 years ago. So yeah, I don't have any collectibles anymore.
Okay. So, O'Brien's at the bridge. Phoenix reaches the ship, but doesn't do anything. Data reports that the Phoenix has not armed its weapons, but he cannot tell what the Cardassian ship is doing because it's heavily shielded by a subspace field. Picard tells O'Brien he wants to know exactly what Maxwell is thinking. And then, for God's sake, I keep doing that. Pictures keep going all over the place. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's a big head.
Also, again, that's not where Chief O'Brien would really stand. If you were looking over someone's shoulder, you'd literally be over his shoulder. He's just standing in shot.
Yes. Yeah, but he's doing like the polite thing. He's not like really bridge crew, so he's feeling a bit odd.
Yeah.
So he's standing off to the side, not really wanting to get involved or get in the way.
Yeah, Conan kind of a fair point.
This I thought was quite a nifty shot from a camera angle point of view, because we always talk about this screen being 3D. So you have like the side shot where you have like and it always looks a bit janky, doesn't it? Because the side shot of the screen never really ties in with where the person. But I thought this over the shoulder version, where you're just seeing him slightly to one side, works really well, because it does kind of look like
it lines up where it's supposed to be, more or less.
Yeah. So I thought this was a better angle to show that kind of thing. So that was pretty good. Maxwell hails them and tells Picard to board the supply ship, and he will see that he was right all along. But Picard declines. Maxwell says, "If you don't board that ship, I will destroy it." O'Brien tells him if Maxwell feels his back is against the wall, he will shoot. Just then, the Phoenix raises its shields and powers its weapons. Picard orders the Enterprise to do the same. O'Brien says he'll beam over and have a word with him, and it'll be all right. They're like, but we've both got our shields up. And O'Brien's like, it doesn't matter. I can get through that. So Picard goes, oh, okay, then give it a go.
I will say that there's a nice tie-in with Trouble with Tribbles later, where they exploit a break in the cycle of the sensors, and in a very similar way.
But this is a brand new ship. This is a ship that's newer than the Enterprise.
But it has a huge radar dish thing. I think it was modeled after something called AWACS that the Americans were using at the time, AWACS.
Yeah.
So it's not. It was designed for long range. It wasn't really designed for combat. It was just designed to scan from a distance near the border. It was the border ship, so it was fulfilling its purpose, but it had a vulnerability when you got in close.
Well, this one actually comes under the goose because he kind of explains, because he's asked how he's going to do that, and then he explains that the high energy sensor system has a cycle every 5.5 minutes with a window of 15th of a second between cycles, and that would have been highly sensitive information that he would have just revealed in front of the Cardassian.
That's a fair point.
Oh, Mazima Bob's ducking her back off because it's Ukrainian Independence Day, so she's got to check in
I rushed in and jumped on thinking I was just going to join for the last 15 minutes, but I want to check in with them and see how their Independence Day party went. So it's lovely seeing you. I'll continue watching on my phone, but I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye. I think it's really strange in this episode that all of this is going on and they never actually bring up the crew, because even though Maxwell's doing all this stuff, and I was like, so is no one starting a mutiny or questioning anything? Everyone's just, I was like, because I mean, I would understand if they were doing it up until the point where the Enterprise got involved, but when the Enterprise got involved, it's like, was Maxwell just lying to him, saying we're going to be escorted or whatever?
Yeah, and that leads me to this picture here, the next picture that we see, which is where Miles appears on the Phoenix and makes his way to the ready room, and just walks in the ready room
through the bridge. Nobody says anything.
Nobody questions him, or the first officer doesn't come in with him with a phaser to his head going, look what we found, sir.
It's
nothing.
Also, I think this is the only time there's a dedication plaque in a ready room. It's every other occasion it's on the bridge. You can't see it there because Maxwell is obscuring it, but I think it's right behind. Well, it's behind one of them anyway.
It is. It's on one side of that door. I think it is behind his head here. You can't see it. But,
okay, so what it is.
Yeah, they were just throwing all the bits, weren't they? All the paraphernalia into one room, so they didn't have to make another set.
I mean, the nebula was basically the same as a kit bash of a galaxy. So they could have just used a galaxy bridge with a bit of tape and said it was a different ship.
Like they've done before. Yeah. Yes. So O'Brien beams over. He makes his way to the captain's ready room without any objections from the crew. Maxwell's surprised to see him because, their shields are raised, and he draws his phaser. O'Brien says he's here to talk their way out of this mess. Maxwell can't understand how Picard can turn on a Federation ship to protect the enemy. How dare he? Does he not understand?
Picard is lawful evil. Lawful good, sorry.
Maxwell asks what has happened to this war anyway. But O'Brien explains that there is no war. The war is over. But Maxwell disagrees, saying they live for war. O'Brien points out that that's what they probably think about us.
Hey, bingo.
Hey, bingo. Maxwell again disagrees, saying they're nothing alike. We don't start wars. We don't conduct surprise attacks against manned outposts. Apart from the fact that he's going around trying to start a war and attacking manned outposts and surprise attacks. So he's kind of disproving his own theory there. Sounds a bit rich. He does say they don't butcher children, which I guess that is true.
I think they understated somewhat what happened to his family. They really could have, they could have brought that out more.
Are you still eating that fish food? She's still eating that fish food. Yeah, she's enjoying it.
To be fair to her, she's muted. So
yeah, that's good. She's learning the ways of YouTube. I like it. So they go on to talk about old times, fallen comrades, and it leads them into a sing-song of the Minstrel Boy. And as though I was, seeing that G-Star would be doing Whose Line Is It Anyway, question 6 is complete this song lyric. So I'm going to miss out a line, and you got to put in chat what you think this lyric would be. Just put the question to the... Yes, that's it. Smile a rainbow. Well done. Don't worry about the lyrics. Okay, so the minstrel boy to the war has gone. In the ranks of death you'll find him. His father's sword he hath girded on, and his wild harp slung blank. So the minstrel boy to the war has gone. In the ranks of death you'll find him. His father's sword he hath girded on, and his wild harp slung blank. So can you finish that lyric?
Honestly, whatever reason, growing up, I never heard this song. I've heard other ones from the era, but this one just... No, I know the answer, but because I looked it up earlier. it's just not one that's commonly known nowadays. I wonder why the writers picked that one. There's a great one called Rising of the Moon. Same era. I love it. It's much easier, much more catchy, but they just didn't pick it.
I wonder if it was O'Brien.
Well, given they're talking about him eating oatmeal and
maybe
corned
not
beef, everything about it is Irish American as opposed to Irish. It's a different thing. It's just a little bit off. It's not quite right. Yeah. So they obviously someone fancies themselves as a historian and just got it a little bit wrong. So someone Irish American on the writing crew just mixed it up a bit. But not that it mixed it up. It's a perfectly valid song. It's just not popular.
Just for completeness, the song goes on to say, "Land of song," said the warrior bard, "though all the world betrays thee, one sword at least thy right shall guard, one faithful harp shall praise thee." And that's where they end it. Thank goodness.
There has been times where people from Boston have come to Ireland and told us we haven't celebrated Patrick's Day correctly. You're like, what? It's like your river isn't dyed green. Everything's not tacky and plastic. You're like, yeah, we don't do that.
We don't do. Yeah.
Fun fact: the pubs in Ireland didn't open on Patrick's Day until 1975, and it only opened to cater to jet set tourists.
Year of my birth.
It was just a thing that it was a quiet contemplative day. You went to mass, you said a few prayers, you saw the parade, and you went home. So it's only when the American tourists started coming here that we just started catering for them that we actually opened our pubs on that day. So not our tradition, an American tradition. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else feels this way. I don't know if it's because I've been in the military, but this song almost makes me want to cry when I read it. It's just really beautiful. I mean, the way they sung it, I wasn't feeling it, but when you read it, it's a beautiful song. Because if it's a little minstrel boy, it's just a little boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Sad. Maxwell turns. Okay, go on.
Oh, sorry. On a completely different note, I was going to say, do you guys know that there's a hidden 47 reference in this episode?
I did not.
Was there Starbase 74 or something? I don't know. I didn't. I missed it entirely.
Well, basically, it's close, Sean. It's a bit of a far-reaching one, but apparently, the destroyed Cardassian space station was located in Sector 21505.
Yeah.
If the leading 2 and the ending 5 are added together, the sum is 7. If the 1 is subtracted from the neighbouring 5, the difference is 4, giving 47.
That's a reach now.
That's a big reach on that one. Big reach. Okay, so we're nearly at the end. Hang in there, Stuplum. We're nearly at the end. Maxwell turns to O'Brien and says, "I'm not going to win this one, am I?" And O'Brien says, "No, sir, you're not." So, back on the Enterprise, Maxwell's confined to his quarters, and the Phoenix is now under the command of the first officer. In the observation lounge, O'Brien tells Picard that he knows now what Maxwell has done was wrong, but he's still proud to have served with him. On leaving, Masset comments that he thinks O'Brien's loyalties are misplaced. Picard tells him he's got a lot to learn about humans, and that whilst Maxwell has earned the highest accolades for valor that Starfleet has to offer during wartime, the fact that he could not adjust to peacetime makes him an object of pity, but he shall not be dismissed.
Yeah, well, if someone saved your life in combat, no matter what they did after that, you're still going to have respect for them within reason.
Yeah.
Just the way it is, you know. They saved your life. It's like, yeah, they might be like not a good husband, but you know, they saved my life. So, what are you going to do?
Before Goldman
said, like he was wrong in the end here. He just did it incorrect.
Oh yeah. Well, he did say in the episode he has a quote that he more or less in the history of time he'd be proved right, and sure enough, he was.
Indeed, and the sting is in the tail. So before Goldmasset leaves the conference room, Picard tells him that Maxwell was right all along, that the transports and the outposts clearly point to the Cardassians rearming in secret. Masset says, well, if Picard believed that, why didn't he board the transport, as Maxwell had asked? Picard says his mission was to protect the peace, and if he had boarded the transport, the Federation and Cardassia would now be arming for war. Picard tells him to take one last message with him back to his superiors. We will be watching.
Every step you take.
Until such time as they bring the entire Dominion fleet through the wormhole. Nothing about it whatsoever.
What trouble could the Cardassians give us anyway, eh? I tell you. Yeah,
I say it. I was trying to figure out where they were on the map because this area, I thought this area was a big like stomping ground for like DS9 and then the Cardassian and Dominion cooperation, and I just thought it was strange. Like when they're talking about, I was looking for Starbase 211. I was looking for these. All I found was Setlik 3. And then they were saying there were 3 sectors that this area was feeding to. And I'm like, okay, what sectors? And I couldn't find any of that on a map anywhere. I found a sector map, but it wasn't clear what it was. And I just thought it was strange that a starbase near Deep Space Nine wasn't on a map anywhere.
Yeah.
Just out of interest,
Deep Space Nine wasn't invented at the time, is the short answer.
Just out of interest, this last line was actually revised. There was originally a different filmed, slightly different line where the line read, "We know, we'll be watching, and we'll be ready." And they took out the "and we'll be ready."
Yeah.
It's more sinister, just that we're watching.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Well,
it's like
I think it's more confrontational. The "we'll be ready." It's more antagonistic.
It's like that slug lady in Monsters Inc., isn't it? Always watching. That went down like one of Sean's anecdotes, didn't it? Really, but
yeah.
No, everyone's trying to remember.
I'll stick to the random, really obscure Star Trek trivia.
No, Sean, you have to continue because the way you tell them and then just the way you it's so hilarious.
It's an anti-joke. Yeah, I got it.
Couple of other bits of trivia. He wasn't in this episode.
Geordie wasn't.
Crusher.
Correct. Crusher's the only.
Geordie was in the observation lounge earlier, saying about scanning sectors.
Wheaton's left already, Smiler. Wheaton's left.
Yeah.
Like a man without a pair of shoes, I stand corrected.
And what other common, quite popular goof is in this episode?
I appreciated that.
The black box. The black box.
Not just the black box. There's something else. Very, very common. We've mentioned it on this show before. At least you guys have.
O'Brien being a lieutenant.
O'Brien's extra pip. Yeah.
Yeah.
He had 2 pips.
That's another goof in this episode. Yep. He had 2 pips instead of 1.
I was watching an episode of DS9 earlier on today, and they mentioned, one of my technicians, Ensign such and such, did that. And I was thinking, he's definitely an enlisted man. How is one of his technicians an ensign? How does that work? You know, that's a specialist. That's definitely an enlisted rank. Like they kept messing it up all the way along.
There you go.
I don't know why they brought in the enlisted bits, because it just seemed like he was the only one. So it's like, why bother? Did they just like saying chief?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, like they do actually. Again, I was watching a few episodes of DS9 today. He mentions like, why am I here for this? It was like a dress reception for whoever, and it was for Shakar. And he goes, I'm not part of the senior staff. I was like, your chief of operations clearly are, even if you're enlisted. Like it's so inconsistent all the way through.
The thing is, with all the other officers being like polished by Starfleet Academy, being Starfleet Academy officers, they're supposed to be held to a higher standard. With O'Brien being a chief, it means for the writing point of view, they can allow him to be more earthy and more human and get away with it because he's not gone through the academy and had that Starfleet polish.
To be fair, when they were designing the uniform for DS9, they asked him about it, and he said, well, I'm an engineer, I need to be able to roll my sleeves up, and I need to be able to carry tools, and they gave him pockets, and they changed the uniform to allow him to roll his sleeves up, you know, literally and figuratively as a result. Like, so they did try and correct it, but it was still inconsistent even in Deep Space Nine. They just, like, he's like, one of my technicians, an ensign. It's like, yeah, an ensign can't report to you. That's just not how that works.
Okay, so I need what did you think of this episode? Scored out of 10. So from 0 to 10, what would you rate this one? I think we might get some diverse answers. G, you're going to have to work out what the average is for everyone, because you don't have the column anymore. It's now live chat. So yeah, let me know. Whilst you're putting that into chat, I will just bring up the score sheet. If I can find it. If I can remember after 3 weeks where it is. And also, we need to know. Did we have an answer to the final question? Oh, I didn't do the answer to the final question. The answer to the final question, then, and I think I saw a lot of them in chat, was behind him. The minstrel boy to war has gone in the ranks. In the ranks of death you'll find him, his father's sword he hath girded on, and his wild harp slung behind him. It's behind him. Yeah.
Tammy's like, what?
Yeah. English or British pantomimes.
This kind of call and response thing you do in theaters, it's hard to explain.
We have these shows we put on in theaters at Christmas time called a pantomime, and you have various cliches that happen in every pantomime. Like you have the main character at the front, and you have the bad guy come on the back out in the back, and the main character's like, I don't see the bad guy anywhere, and the crowd, which is half kids, all shout, he's behind you. And then the bad guy hides behind a piece of scenery, and the guy looks around and goes, I can't see him anywhere. And he looks back and he comes out and the crowd go, it's behind it. Anyway, it's a British.
Oh, no, he isn't.
I've seen it. I've
Oh,
seen
no,
it
he
in Peppa
isn't.
Pig.
Oh, no, he is. Yeah,
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's a.
Yeah, no, very much so. Yeah,
it's a British thing.
It's interesting.
Okay, so I have the score sheet. So G's got a lot of work to do right now. He's got to work out the overall scores for all the questions, and work out the average scores for the audience.
I've already worked out the scores for the.
Have you? Oh, you're ahead of the game. I have to say, I'm impressed. Right. Here we go. So first up, shall we have the results of the quiz? Who won this week?
This week, well, in joint second place was Sean and Stuplum on 650 points, but just ahead of them was Tavi on 680 points.
Oh, she's closing on you, Stuplum.
I've been trying for weeks. Finally, the gold.
You want the gold, don't you?
Oh, no, she hasn't.
Oh, yes, she has. It's another pantomime.
No, stop.
Yeah, it's another pantomime thing. Anyway. Oh, no, she isn't. Oh, yes, she is. Right. Okay. So, I've got the score here. We haven't got Maz McBob's score, have we? I should have got her to score it before she disappeared off the call. Oh, well, never mind. I've got mine. Oh, which one should I go for? Oh. I'm going to go with that.
Thank you, Stu.
Ready?
When I say I've been trying for weeks, it's also the quizzes I've been making up in the past 3 weeks in which I play against myself and then also lose there somehow.
Okay, those with paddles. Oh, yeah, G-Star.
Ready to be naughty.
G-Star's got his paddle with him. G-Star?
I've got my paddle, but I've already given my score.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he hasn't.
Oh, yes. Okay, right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, I went for 8. I have no paddle.
I think 8. I think 7. I think 6 is stingy, G-Star.
Oh, Ruth is stingy then as well. You call him Ruth stingy?
I think 6 a perfectly acceptable score.
Well, I think it's a really important O'Brien episode. It's probably one of the most important in his backstory, and it's great. It shows PTSD, it shows mental health issues, things that weren't talked about in the early 90s. I think it was very progressive.
And someone actually apologizing.
Yeah, I mean, we got more backstory for O'Brien's character in this one episode than we got in 4 seasons. And
well, it's the first episode that he predominantly starred in the main part.
Well, we had his wedding.
He was married earlier, a couple of episodes ago.
No, but it to state that that was Data's day though. That he's the predominant character in that episode, Data. Yeah, whereas O'Brien is the predominant. This is the first predominant episode for Brian.
I deducted it a point for being a bottle episode. It really was just on the Enterprise, and pretty much solely on the bridge.
Almost every episode of season 4 seems to be bottle episodes.
There's been a lot of them, isn't there? There has been a lot of them.
They really blew all their money on Best of Both Worlds, and I think they just needed to make up the numbers after that. They really struggle with everything. Like it's definitely does a lot of money saving going on.
Well, I definitely think I could justify my 6 here by saying that actually there's a lot of firsts in this episode, but there's a lot of firsts that are also last because they didn't particularly land well and they weren't very good and didn't go on to, like the head thing that they wore, the shape of the nebula, the outfits that the Cardassians are wearing. There's a couple of things that obviously went on to become part of, the Star Trek universe, like Kanar this is the first episode that Kanar was mentioned as a Cardassian booze, and then that went on to become the drink of choice for Cardassians.
Cardassians in general. And the Nebula class still existed. It was still used a lot. Like, you know.
Yeah, but it wasn't
right into the Dominion War,
I just think production on this one was a bit rough-edged and rushed. And
well, it was a bit, but in the history of time, it's a very important episode in terms of all the groundwork it laid for later stuff.
And I get what Tavi was saying about the, you know, feeling distant from the action that was going on, but I like seeing space battles and pew-pew, you know. And for me, at this point in Star Trek, there was just not enough of that in TNG. And here we had an actual episode that actually had, like, space dogfighting things going on. And we just saw two little dots move around on a screen. And when I saw, like, the Phoenix was going to be in it and, you know, Cardassians, it was like, wow, this is going to be great. And then we just saw two little dots floating around on a screen. And I was dissatisfied. So it lost a point for that for me as well.
Is there a bad thing with things being bottle episodes? I always think that, well, you're on a starship, so
I like some bottled episodes, but when you have a number of bottle episodes in a row, when you've got the whole galaxy or the whole universe really to explore in this ship, it's, you know, a ship of exploration. If you think of all the weird things they saw in the original 60s Star Trek, okay, the scenes were, you know, the sets were all polystyrene and weird and cheap and stuff, but
I've got to just jump in quickly, sorry. And to say, because we haven't said it yet, don't forget to like this stream if you haven't done so already.
I should have said that at the beginning. Yeah.
Please like.
Please like.
Yeah, we're only on 4 and there's 10 watching, so yeah.
Damn it, I haven't even done it.
I love those numbers. Those are rookie numbers.
Oh, we've forgotten the process here. We've forgotten the process.
That's what Holiday does to you.
Holidays put us all out of whack. But yeah, I've completely forgot my train of thought now. I don't know what I was talking about.
Sorry about that.
We're talking about bottle episodes.
Yeah. I think, yes. I feel like 60 Star Trek got out and about more, and TNG was more about just them crewing the Enterprise. And, you know, we're supposed to be exploring strange new worlds and seeking out new life forms and new civilizations. And there's too much just mundane politics going on board the Enterprise. And
well, it's more the fact that Gene decided that there would be no conflict amongst the crew, so they had to find these kind of esoteric moral philosophy questions that couldn't really be answered, just to have something to talk about. So, you know, when Eugene died, which is around this area, and when Maurice Hurley as they like to call him, left, it started to slowly get better, but really, it's really another season. But you know, I have to say, rewatch it with you guys, like, I really get a new appreciation for season 4. It's really starting to hit a stride, but it does continue to keep getting better and better from here on in. Really.
It does get better, and
although season 7 has a few dips, but like, you know, that's just, and season 6, but that's just, you know, fatigue at that point. But it's continuing to really get there.
Yeah. Star Trek: The Next Generation is trying to be sort of serious science fiction in a way, where the original series was actually a horror show, was actually light horror. You know,
in many respects, yeah, I suppose it was. Yeah,
it was. It was a horror show, really, rather than science fiction. It was about the what was going to get disfigured, you know, what was going to explode this week, what horrible monster was going to invade the crew or take over their bodies or suck their minds out, or, you know, it was that kind of, you know, the crazy the crazy things they'll find in space.
In canon, that makes a lot of sense because, you know, we have the Prime Directive by TNG, but in TOS they didn't have it, and you know, their kind of technology was unleashed into the world and all the consequences of it without any real controls, in a kind of Jurassic Park kind of way. that everything was just unleashed on the world and nobody really understood. But at the time of TNG, they understood that technology needed to be controlled, that it had positives as well as negatives, and that they had to be more careful about the way they did things. And so it does kind of fit into canon that the way the shows are written, that they're a lot more cautious by TNG about how they do things, and they're a lot more structured and formal.
Plus, the Galaxy class ship is pretty much going around Federation space, sorting out diplomatic issues and things like that. It's not out in deep space on the fringes, doing what those ships did in the old days of the Federation, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a question how a ship of the Constitution class could go on a 5-year mission completely outside of Federation space, and not be able to come home and not be resupplied, whereas a huge galaxy, whenever the plot suited, it could just go back to Earth. It wasn't like, oh, it doesn't take us 2 months. It was just like, oh, we'll just go back. Yeah, we'll be there in 2 days. It's fine.
Bless Stuplum there, not knowing what Duff Beer is. Never watched The Simpsons in his life. What's the audience average score then, G?
Are you taking 0.5 scores? Because
no,
the average
0.5 would round up to the next one up. So,
well, I think it's going to have to be an average of 7.
7. And we'll have to get Mazza McBob's. I don't see. No, she wasn't. She didn't put it in the chat. We'll get Mazza McBob's next week. And Tavi, at some point in, you're going to have to let me know all your scores for it. If you post it to me in Messenger or something, let me know your scores for all the episodes so far this season. Yeah.
Well, we can agree the episodes between a 7 and an 8. That's kind of where we're hitting.
Yeah. So there we go. That was this week's episode. Now you're going to ask me what's next week's episode, aren't you? And
yeah,
I don't know. Does anybody
under the Boundless, under the something.
I watched it yesterday and I still can't remember.
Yeah.
I know them so well. They just all blend together. Even when I watched it yesterday, it's just like
Devil's Due.
I should. Oh yes, yeah. Where a woman comes to claim back the planet after 1,000 years of peace.
Yeah.
Because a Faustian deal, as they call it, to give 1,000 years of peace, but you take over the planet at the end of it, and she comes back to cash in. Yeah, it is kind of. Well, it's not quite a bottle episode from our other sets, but it is a courtroom drama.
From the gates of hell.
Gosh, why aren't you pausing? Right, there we go. Here is next week's episode's trailer.
From the gates of hell comes the ultimate evil.
Who are you?
The devil.
A demonic power terrorizes a peaceful planet.
These people are all convinced that their world is coming to an end.
And a deadly game of seduction could steal Picard's soul.
I can do anything for you, Captain.
Your life is in danger here.
Enterprise, come in.
Your ship is gone, Captain.
Duel with the Devil on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Good to see a bit of Stuart Chest in that song.
Yeah, Karen will be happy about that. I remember not being a fan of this episode, but it'd be interesting to see what I think of it now, coming back at it years later.
Well, it ends well. It's probably a little bit slower.
It ends well, yeah. It's irritating and then it ends well.
It has an almost Sherlock Holmes kind of ending,
All right, okay. Well, don't give it away yet. We won't get to the ending before we get to the beginning.
Although, yeah, I've given it too much credit by saying Sherlock Holmes. It's not that good. But
right.
That's definitely the area.
Temper my expectations. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's next week. Hopefully, Mazza McBob will be back. Night to Stuplum. G-Star will probably be not here. But thank you, G, for stepping in this week to cover Mazza McBob's absence. We've loved seeing you.
Not a problem, Do you want a little plug for Friday? Yeah, Friday. all things Monty Zone coming up. We're going back to the UFO subject primarily, but we will be covering other bits as well, like Real or Fake game. We'll have that, which is becoming a quick favorite, and lots of people love the Real or Fake game.
It's a cult classic.
And just to plug the vault a little bit, obviously this week there was a double upload on Monday. Double part kind of sort of thing, one story time, one G-Star Vault, all about the Roswell incident. So if you haven't checked them out yet, please do
check them out. They're doing quite well, I see on the numbers, gaining some popularity, these new videos. So thanks G for that. Yeah, I'm also, as well as playing Fortnite with the gang tomorrow on my personal channel. I'll be joining Subspace Chatter, I think, on Saturday afternoon, where we'll be discussing the first episode of Season 3 of Lower Decks. Yeah, that'll be this Saturday.
I'd just say it's a conclusion of a two-parter, so you may wish to go back and watch the first half.
Go back.
Of the season.
Yeah, I can't remember where we were at.
Actually, well, the captain, not Captain Mariner, Captain, I forget her name. Anyway, she got arrested, and they have to try and spring her.
Oh yes. Okay.
I look forward to all of that. Loads going on.
Yeah.
I was going to say the trailer indicates we're going to be getting a bit of Deep Space Nine, so finally we see a bit more of it post at the end of the season.
Yeah, cool. I saw that. I saw there was some Deep Space Nine. That's good. Cool. Well, thank you, Stu Plum and Ruth and Karen, Nazim Bob. Thanks for coming on. My co-host G-Star, Tavikins, and Sean. And we will see you all next week at 8 o'clock for the next episode. Cheers, everyone. Bye. Oh, good Nazim Bob hands.
Don't fall out the chair.
Right, okay, let's go.